and basically,
Okay.
like because of that, players are burned after the fact. The trick is you get more points for the same stats with a bonus each round. So like the opening round is just
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
To Krivas, turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh, my.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to tip-off of Arizona basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bounce it off to Bradley. Drives the lane. Kick it to Lewis. Out top, Love. Wide open three. Straight away is good for Caleb Love. And they're back within three now.
Yeah, excellent ball movement there. Swing around, found the shooter's got to feel good for Caleb to knock that down.
Walks it across the top of the circle. Over to Love. Another three up and good. Caleb Love now has found his rhythm. His third Lexus of Tucson charity three of the half. And it's 59-48 Arizona.
Yeah, Caleb Love has that look.
Caleb Love was back like we like to see him in Stillwater, Oklahoma on Tuesday night as the Arizona Wildcats wrapped up their road trip with a split of the Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And now the Cats are back home for two. It'll be kind of a old school Pac-12 schedule. This week, we'll play a game, have just one day off, and then we'll be right back at it on Monday. First up will be an old Pac-12 mate, in fact. It'll be the Colorado Buffaloes today at McKale Center. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I am David Kelly, and joined as always by my guys. We've got the captain, Kelvin Efon, here. We've got J.W. Madden as well. We are getting you set for everything that is Arizona Wildcats basketball today. We want to hear from you. Your thoughts on the Cats. 520-848-1290 is the number to call and or text to get in on the program. We've got you for 3 hours right up until 12:30 with the pregame show, network pregame show, and then tip-off coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen. Let's let you know what's happening on our show today.
Let's take a look at the Right Way rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, we'll take a look back at the Oklahoma State game on Tuesday. Get you set for Colorado with our first look, brought to you by Window Depot. We'll shine a spotlight on one of your Wildcats. How about the freshman out of Southern California, Carter Bryant, today? DK with TL, my questions to the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. We had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. Your scouting report will be brought to you by Mark Johnson, the play-by-play man for the Colorado Buffaloes, and sponsor side brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook is on your best bets for today. Arizona, a big favorite at home at McKale Center against the Buffaloes. Cats by 15.5 is the call. Your over-under is 150.5 points. We'll see how the fellas like this particular ball game today. But it was a very good night for Arizona in Stillwater, Oklahoma. First time that the Wildcats had ever played a game in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Prior to it, the two teams had met 3 times. All 3 of those times had been in neutral site locations. One of those times came in the NCAA tournament in the Elite Eight, in the Sweet 16, a game in which the Arizona Wildcats won by just 1 point. You heard the highlight at the top of the show. Caleb Love back to his scoring form in that game against Oklahoma State on Tuesday night. 36 minutes, he scored 27 points, took 10 of 17 from the floor, hit 4 3-pointers on 9 attempts, grabbed 5 rebounds, dished out 3 assists, stole the ball 3 times, did not turn the ball over. Caleb Love, on the lack of offense he'd had in previous games and getting back into his groove.
my teammates and my coaches trusting me, and I wanted to come out here and play as best as I could on both ends of the floor. And obviously I haven't been holding up on my end on obviously the offensive end, but at the end of the day, I know that my teammates and my coaches are rocking with me, whether I play good or bad, and that's all that really matters to me. God is good. He's kept me throughout my whole career, and I trust in Him, and my faith in Him is always going to be there. So that's kind of what I lean on the most, and like I said, my teammates and coaches are rocking with me, and I'm rocking with them.
Like as comfortable offensively as you've been all year?
I was
the way people have been playing you. You've been adjusting to that. I know.
Yeah, I got to adjust on the fly. Knowing that I'm probably gonna get the best defender on the other team guarding me, and I got to adjust to that, and I got to be there for my teammates, and as many ways as possible. And one thing I could control is my effort and my energy. Giving energy to my teammates as well, and supporting them when I can, and one thing that coach has been on me about is smiling, and I probably had like 30 smiles today, so that was something that I was proud of.
Yeah, even maybe if he's not smiling, guys, you can't really tell if he's frustrated at all by the way that he's played this year. He's kind of one of those guys that's just kind of even keel out there.
Yeah, definitely even keeled. And, sometimes you can read into things the wrong way. I always try to, watch out for that as a coach and as a player, growing up with my other teammates or whatnot. So it's tough, man, when your team needs you to be that guy, but they're trying to get a lot of other guys going at the same time, right? You're trying to get Townsend going. You're trying to get Carter Bryant, KJ Lewis, Jaden Bradley is finding his way. You have a Vazar, even Del Orso. You have a team full of guys that are trying to find their way, and everything. I feel like all the pressure gets laid on Caleb Love's shoulders, which is, I'm sure, fine for him because he's a fifth-year senior. He could totally handle it. He's been through all kind of things way before coming from North Carolina. But I think once he settled down and just understand, just play basketball and go out there and have fun doing it. And I think that's what the smile thing is about, because coach is saying smile because it's not like saying just smile. It's like saying that when you play well, you smile, right? So you're smiling and you're having a good time. So go out there and play well, And so I think that added confidence has helped them out, and I guess coach is helping them figure it out as well.
I just think in today's day and age, guys, it's such a tough balance because this is a pro sport now, right? So you're talking about NIL money. You're also talking about guys trying to get to the league. With a guy like Caleb, who's been around for a while and has been a known commodity, Kelvin, a player like that getting in his own head thinking, am I shooting too much? Is this 25-footer with a defender next to me maybe not the right shot? That's what we're talking about with the tightness and maybe like the quietness you might see from Caleb. When he's out there and he's just a 12-year-old with his boys out on the, blacktop, just having a good time, that's when you see that joy come out. And playing with that joy, putting aside what scouts are looking at, putting aside what my agent is telling me, putting aside what my family's saying, you should be in the league by now, all my boys from back growing up, all that stuff, Kelvin, and just go out there and have fun. And we saw that this last game out from Caleb. He really seemed like he found that joy. And when the shots are falling, Kelvin, it's a little easier to be joyful.
And you said it, J-Dub. It's more so than it's the pressure you put on yourself, because we all come to college thinking we're going to be one and done. I swear. I mean, like what, 200 something ranked, whatever, but I still thought I'm going to go to college and I'm going to tear it up, and then so you start getting disappointed in yourself. 5 years, you're looking at young guys get drafted, you're looking at guys on your team ranked higher than you. Sometimes they can get to you, and you just got to remember sometimes go back and just have fun. I'm telling high school guys, DK, with the portal and everything, you got 26, 27-year-old guys, which I don't mind. Whatever they can do to play college, whatever. But I'm telling the kids, hey, man, you guys got to relax, man. Y'all got to relax and have fun with what you got. Right? Even if you're on a team losing 20 games, have fun losing those 20 games. It sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, there's a way to have fun when you're losing. You're diving for loose balls. You're taking charges. You're doing all the winning things. And a lot of times you can find what we call a diamond in the rough in those situations, because you can see a guy that won't give in. And a coach will say, I want that guy on my side, right? And next thing you know, you're a winner just because of putting yourself in a different environment. But I just feel like that, a lot of times, whether it's the college guys, even some of the pro guys. You see Bronny James, just had a big game, right? Because you just play. Forget about all the noise of people saying you're going to be a bust and you're not any good and you're only there for your dad. And Caleb, you've been playing for 5 years. You should have scored 30 every game. Forget all that. Just go play ball and have a good time.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. You mentioned other guys that they're trying to get involved with this roster, and one of those guys is Trey Townsend. He had a big ball game in Stillwater as well. 20 minutes, 19 points, 7 of 8 from the floor. Trey said the basketball gods rewarded his efforts in practice with the ball going in the hoop in a game.
Obviously, the past, few Big 12 games, I haven't really played up to the expectations that, people had of me, but I had of myself. I've had some good talks with, my teammates and the staff. And I really just wanted to come today and just give 100% effort, and then everything else that would come with that, would come with that. I just wanted to make sure I could control what I can control because, I can't control if I make every shot or, if I get an assist if someone makes their shots, but I can control how, hard I'm running around, checking out people. And today, I guess the basketball gods rewarded me for the effort side of things, and the ball started going in the hoop.
Yeah, and I'll say what I've said about Trey, what I've said about Caleb. He needs to stay aggressive at the offensive end of the floor because, again, are we going to get 19 points from him every single night? Maybe not, but I think he needs to be aggressive in looking for his shot as well because he can be an offensive threat like we saw if he stays aggressive at that end.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a scorer. He's a guy that plays below the three-point line. He's trying to stretch out to the three, and he made 1 for 1 for the three, which was a nice shot, nice in rhythm. But it's because he got himself going inside, getting the easy buckets. I think they opened and spaced up the floor for him a little bit. Vazar wasn't getting a lot of minutes, so it really opened it up the court where he was able to get to the basket a couple times and score. Got in transition on that first basket. We talked about it. I said, man, he need to get in transition and outrun his defender and get an easy bucket. I think him getting that first easy bucket, opened up the basket for him.
All right. How about just 8 turnovers in that game on Tuesday night, Tommy Lloyd?
We talked about ball strength. We've been losing the ball a little bit too much, so just kind of emphasize that. We've been spending a lot of time on fundamentals, believe it, ripping through, pivoting, the exciting stuff that you guys probably don't notice, but you have to do that against a team that pressures like this, and, I think it helped us a little bit that number 2 picked up a couple of fouls because he's so proficient at, getting his hands on balls, and, and for the most part, they didn't press much tonight, so, I don't know why. But they didn't. So, maybe he felt like he was in the game playing the way they were. So he went with it. And so I think we were just fortunate in those aspects. But these guys get all the credit. They did a great job just on their own taking care of the ball.
Tommy does not address opposing players by their names. Generally, he addresses them by their numbers. Arturo Dean was the number 2 that he was talking about right there. Kelvin, what are the keys when he talks about we've been practicing ball security? We talk about that so much in football, ball security.
Yeah,
but
Mr.
what are the elements of
goal
that?
line running back. Tell us about ball security.
What are the elements of that in basketball and how you work on that?
It's funny. I have my little 11U Titan basketball team, man, and we're going over that right now. And it's the fundamental of basketball that you have to do at every level, in the college, pros, and basically squeezing the basketball and not making excuses that you got fouled. If they hit you, so what? If the ref don't call the foul, it's not a foul. So you can't look for that. You're not in the Pac-12 anymore, right? And as I tell the kids, the 11-year-olds, you have to just play. That's just the name of the game. You have to play through fouls. So you have to squeeze that ball with 2 hands, elbows out to protect that ball, right? And then make sure we fake a pass to make a pass. You have to be locked in to what you're really trying to do as far as passing the ball and paying attention to the way the defense is playing.
Yeah, and I think if you think about the one play that stands out is when Townsend was at the top of the key, I think West Virginia, and the dude just reached in with 2 hands, Kelvin, and just took the ball right away from him, about 20 feet out top of the key. Now, there's 2 things here. The sheer audacity to do that. Right. You got to know that you're playing in a league where refs aren't calling stuff, right? So, the players have to adjust to the game refs, what the refs are how the games are calling it tight or loose per game, but also the league in general. I mean, those guys are going to be much more active with their hands, reaching in to try to strip the ball away, and you just have to maintain. I mean, ball security is a one of the fundamental skills you learn very early in your basketball career, no matter what level you're playing at, especially for anybody playing on the perimeter. And so it's not as if this is a foreign concept to these guys. It's just that playing in a rougher, much more active, handsy type of league, you have to make sure that you are aware that if you have the ball there, you can't open yourself up and have the ball put out for a defender to just reach in and take it. And then, as far as ball security on passes, this is a passing offense. They're going to be moving the ball around. Fake a pass to make a pass, like Kelvin said. You have to keep the defense off balance to make sure that they're not just reading what it is that you're doing and easily taking the ball. Good news is, guys, is the turnovers have come way down in the last 5-10 games. They've really done a much better job collectively as a group taking care of the rock.
All right. Only a little over 6,000 folks in the building on Tuesday night in Stillwater. It was, again, a later start there after 8 o'clock and cold temperatures in the I guess, the plains, as we like to call it. But no matter that, Trey Townsend says it's never easy to get a road on the win at any level of college basketball.
Winning on the road is tough in any level of college basketball, especially in this conference. Obviously, we wanted to come on this road trip and get a sweep, but we didn't want to let, the little bump we had at Texas Tech leak over into this game, and I don't think anyone on the team or players and staff let that happen. We came out and got a win knowing we were going home and playing 2 home games, and, we don't like to lose at home. We don't lose at home, so, we're ready and excited to play in front of our fans again.
Yeah, and it'll be a sold-out crowd today at McKale Center, and I'd imagine both of these games will be sold out because you've got one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country, coming in here on Monday night. So a tune-up, and again, you kind of wish you'd had that extra day of rest this week to kind of rest and prepare for Iowa State, but no such luck. You're going to play an early. The one benefit is you're playing early today at 1, and you're playing a little bit later on Monday night at 8:30, so a few extra hours to get set for what is going to be probably one of the more exciting games we'll see in Tucson this season. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Buffaloes. Tip-off is straight ahead at 1 o'clock. We've got much more coming up for you on our pregame show. Stay with us. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Our one of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Poston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management, wealth well managed, life well lived.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, best price, biggest inventory.
Looking for unlimited gameplay all season long? Dave & Buster's is introducing the all-new Winter Season Pass. You can pick your perfect pass and play like a Dave & Buster's VIP with unlimited access to over 140 games and deals on sips and bites. Sign up now and take advantage of this incredible deal now through February 28th. Don't forget to stop in Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials and grab the all-new Winter Season Pass. There's nowhere better to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's, the best place outside the stadium to see the games this football season.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com. Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
O'Brien driving on Krivas, right of lane. Ball knocked away and stolen by Bradley. Bradley on the run for the Wildcats, right into Simpson. Lay it up and good. Oh my, what a shot from Jaden Bradley. Boswell pump fake the three, step up, shoot another three. This one around and up. Ballo there to slam home the rebound for 2 more. Timeout, Colorado.
Time now to take our first look at today's Arizona Wildcats men's basketball game. The first look of the game is brought to you by Window Depot. Lowest prices, biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. Yeah, last year, Arizona won by 47 points here in Tucson right after the new year. Then they went to Boulder and won by 20. So they beat them by a combined 67 points last year, did the Wildcats. I guess they held them to 50 points in that game here. 97-50 was the final score of the meeting between these two teams here in Tucson last year. What will happen today is the question. Tommy Lloyd, hey, we know the Buffs, but they also know us.
It's a little more familiarity that you would maybe have in a normal, conference season. But again, you're not. It's not like comforting because you for years you've had familiarity with your opponents, but you still got to go out and play the game. And so we're going to focus just on going out and playing the game possession by possession, and we're not going to make much more of it than that.
Yeah, but this is a team that has lost a lot, the Colorado Buffaloes. When you talk about guys like KJ Simpson, not there anymore. I think they lost a grand total of about 8 guys from this roster that were on this team last year that won 26 games. So that was a pretty good Colorado club. But again, you lose a couple of guys to the first round of the draft. Like a KJ Simpson and a Cody Williams. That's tough to replace.
Yeah, real tough to replace, man. And Thad is known. You give him 3-4 years with his new group, and next thing you know, he's back in the situation contending. Mm-hmm. But first thing first, this game's today. This is the one what bothers me for this team because there is familiarity between these two teams. Thad knows this team very well. I'm sure that he got his guys hyped up and telling them that, we've had success against them, and we always give them tough outings. And this is our chance to get a win on the road to get us started. So our guys better not underestimate them, because I watched them play. They play a 5-out type of style. Similar to what they've been playing for a while. They had Lampkin, but he's transferred to Syracuse now.
I was going to say there's a couple of names too
Eddie
on the
Lampkin,
list here. Tristan Da Silva, you didn't mention, and Eddie Lampkin Jr. I mean, that's a lot to replace.
Yeah, with big Eddie Lampkin over at Syracuse.
What's his 9th year? I mean, he's been around forever.
Hey, you gotta use it while you can. So, hey, man, Adam, hey, you gotta use it while you can. But again, I just think Colorado, man, the way I see them shooting threes, we still have an issue. I won't say we still have an issue, but we still haven't really shown if we can really cover that 3-point line. You can't underestimate them, man. I just really feel like that. Even though they haven't won any games and they're at the bottom of the conference, they're dangerous coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, a motivated team. The issue, as we'll hear from their coach, who, we have so much respect for what Coach Boyle does, especially defensively. The big issue they're having this year is on the other side of the ball, where the connectivity that we're used to seeing from a Buffs team, where they really rotate and help each other on that man-to-man defense that he's known to play. Apparently the connectivity, Kelvin, just is not quite there this year. And when you're talking about those names that they had to replace, I mean, everybody in the college basketball landscape right now is replacing players year after year after year, whether they're transferring out or there's a new crop of freshmen or there's the NIL situation. So it's nothing new that Coach Boyle's dealing with in Boulder this year, but they're struggling. I mean, winless in the first journey back to this conference. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, we'll talk about that a lot later, I'm sure, but a team that's 0-7 in the conference, Kelvin, that's coming in and has never won a game in this building as a 15-plus point underdog, that's one of the most dangerous teams, because that coaching staff has a lot of pride. Those players can rally around each other. And if you start seeing threes get knocked down, especially, and if Arizona's a little loosey with the ball, that's a problem. So proud team coming in. They just have not had the season they were expecting.
All right, let's hear from the head coach on what he sees in this Colorado Buffaloes team.
I mean, Julian Hammond's a good player. He's been around for a minute, and he's a good player. And, he's not scared. He's had success here before. Their young big kids are developing. I know the one kid had like 8 blocks a couple games ago. And, Yakimowski is somebody we respect. He's somebody who's, played good against us in the past, and we know what type of impact he can have. So, and then they have a collection of, of a lot of new players that are figuring it out as well. And, I think he's, looks like he's trying a lot of different lineups, and, I'm sure, Tad's had a lot of success in his career, and I'm sure, he's pushing a lot of buttons, and eventually he'll push the right buttons. But I know this, Colorado's going to win a few games in conference.
You better believe it. I mean, Tad Boyle, again, like you said, a lot of respect for him. One of the best coaches in the Pac-12 during the years we were there. They are a team, though, that has a tendency to foul just a little bit, or maybe a lot of bit, depending on who you talk to. Tommy, obviously, there were some foul issues in the game at Oklahoma State. Does he anticipate that this game could develop into a bit of a foul fest here today?
I don't want to say you always have a plan for everything, because there's sometimes there is the beauty in just figuring it out in the moment. But we'll have plans accordingly. I don't know how the game's quite going to be officiated yet. I'm not assuming we're going to have both of our bigs. We're going to have 2 fouls in the first 10 minutes of the first half. But if that happens, we'll react accordingly. And for Emmanuel, I'm happy for how he stepped up and helped the team, and he has an eagerness about him, that's appealing, and his teammates love him, and and I have full belief if he gets opportunities, I know this, he's going to get everything he got, and you can't ask for much more than that.
He mentioned that they had a player that had 8 blocks. That was Bangot. Dak had 8 blocks in their game against Cincinnati a couple of Saturdays ago. 19 points, 8 blocks, 8 rebounds. That was the 3rd most blocks in program history in a single game, next to David Harrison, who roamed the Boulder campus back in the early part of this century. But this is a team that has not won a game yet in conference. They are 0-7. They were close at the half against BYU, and then went on one of those scoring droughts that's been very similar to what we've seen from Arizona. Before we hear from the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, Tad Boyle, let's pause here 10 seconds for station identification. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden, my name is David Kelly. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're getting you set for the Wildcats and the Colorado Buffaloes. Tip-off is just 3 hours from now here in Tucson at McKale Center. The Buffaloes come in here with a record of just 0-7 in conference play after they started 9-2 in the non-conference, but it has been tough sledding since they've gotten into the Big 12. They lost to BYU at home the other night, and Tad Boyle not happy with the way that his team performed.
Just want to start by apologizing to fan base. Apologize to every former player that's worn the Colorado uniform. We're not living up to our end of the bargain as a coaching staff or as players in the program. So I'm going to apologize to our fan base, but especially the ones that came out tonight on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock to support this team and program. And they deserve more than we gave them. And obviously, I got to throw that halftime speech in the toilet and flush multiple times because we didn't come out in the second half ready to play. BYU did. You let a team shoot 67.9% from the field in your building after half. Something's wrong. We better fix what's wrong, or we're going to continue to get the same result.
16 missed shots in a row. Sound familiar? I mean, the Wildcats have gone through some droughts like that this season. 13 minutes without a field goal between the first and second halves for Colorado in that game. It was a game they led early by double digits. And so that was why it was equally as disappointing for what happened to them in that game again at home on Wednesday night. That was the Wednesday night game at the event center there in Boulder. Tad Boyle says, again, this is a team that's having a hard time. I should say he's having a hard time getting through to this team right now.
They scored 16 points in the last 5 minutes. Now, is that us or is that them? I think a lot of it has to do with us, personally. But that's where the film. And, watching film with these guys, I'm going to continue to do it. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. I've been here for 14 years. This is year 15. I haven't lost confidence in myself. I can tell you that. I feel like I can coach this game, but I'm not doing a very good job coaching this team, coaching these players. And I gotta go back to the drawing board and see how I can get to them. Because right now I'm not getting to them.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough when you're trying as a coach, and we know that he's one of the best. But right now, it's just the message. Kelvin is just not landing with this team right now, and that I guess when you're a coach that's had the success that Tad Boyle's had, that can be tough.
Yeah, it can be tough, but at the same time, man, you have to be real with yourself and understand that one, I don't think he has a great roster.
Yeah.
He didn't really go and get big splashes from the transfer portal to really help him out. He needed a couple real guys that could just get buckets, and I don't think he really went and done that. He likes to really grow his guys himself. So with that, it's going to be heartaches in this day and time, right, J-Dub? With this day and time, if you're going to develop your own players, there's going to be heartaches in that sometimes because, other teams are paying to make sure that they have the guys to go right now, especially in this Big 12 conference. I mean, he had to know coming into this conference, all these teams have spent a lot of money to make sure that they have the players to compete at a high level. So to me, that's really what it is. It's hard to be connected when you have a brand new group of guys that you're trying to develop on the run.
West Virginia, guys, is an outlier, right? They got a whole new roster, new coach. They're playing great. To me, Kelvin, if you're talking about a guy like Coach Boyle, who's all about buy-in, watch their teams play. Do you know how many top recruits they've had come through Boulder in his tenure there? One. Cody. That's it. Cody Williams is the only one that he's ever gotten. So it's always been a kind of a piecemeal, a bunch of guys buying in. And Kelvin, you know how that's done? Seniors teach the sophomores and freshmen who are about to get in the rotation what it takes, right? You got upperclassmen who've been in the system for a few years. When you talk about what Colorado's dealing with this year right now, 8 new players in that rotation. Where are the holdovers, Kelvin, from the previous year, last year, the year before, who played that Tad Boyle man-to-man defense and helping style defense with each other and can hold each other accountable, right? That whole idea of someone who's been in the system, so you got multiple coaches' voices because the upperclassmen players are holding the younger players accountable. There seems to be a little bit more selfishness on that defensive side of the ball, and that's not something that we're used to watching Colorado play. We're used to watching Colorado with some 2 and 3 stars give you every bit of the business to some 4 and 5 stars because they play together as a group. That's just not happening, DK, so far this year.
And you mentioned, J-Dub, they have never won here?
Well, I mean, what was it, Sabatino, Kelvin? Chen? Like, that was that shot that they, I mean, of course, their fan base thinks they did win a game here, but the record shows they have never won a game.
The record shows that they've never won a game here. And I just mentioned at the top, last year's team lost by 47 here. So how does Tad try to explain that to his guys and what they need to try to do here today?
Look, next game, what do we got to do to beat Arizona at Arizona? I know, look, one thing I'm going to challenge our guys, you want a chance to do something that's never been done? Well, guess what? We'll have an opportunity to do that Saturday. Now, will we embrace that opportunity? Will we take it on as a challenge and say, okay, let's go? Or will we say, oh, well, previous teams can't do it, we can't do it? Like, if that's our attitude, this season, we're not going to get that first conference win. So, again, it's about the next game. And my thing is, we've got to win our games at home. And we're not doing that right now. And that's disappointing to me because now, against BYU, there's no altitude advantage, which we usually have in this building. We don't have that because they're in Provo and they train at altitude just like us. So no, I don't think we're any further. Now we're further away if we don't play up to our capabilities and our potential. And that's what we have to do.
All right, Arizona and Colorado. Will the Buffaloes get their first ever win in Tucson? We'll find out at 1:00. And that's our first look at today's Arizona Wildcats men's basketball game. The first look at the game is brought to you by Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every game. It's the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. Could be somebody from the other team. We'll tell you the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game coming up tonight on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day post-game show. Much more straight ahead. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering 60 months no interest financing, tax credits up to $2,600, energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE EAGLE.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia, and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Looking to go inside, nothing there to Love. Splits the defense down the lane. Dish up underneath. Carter Bryant laid up and good. Boy, nice pass. Strong move by Carter Bryant. Ball stolen away by Carter Bryant. He'll drive the other way and slam it home with the right hand.
Love to see the defensive intensity from the freshman.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet. Carter Bryant, the freshman forward, has played the 3, has played the 4 this season, and has done a pretty good job of it in his initial foray into college basketball. Went 5 for 5 from the floor, didn't miss a shot. 3 for 3 from 3, and 14 points. And the Cats win on the road at Cincinnati earlier this season. Had 10 points at Texas Tech, finished with 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 blocks at Oklahoma State. Did Carter Bryant. He is 8 of 17 on 3-point field goals in conference play and shooting 64% from the floor in league games. We had a chance to catch up with Carter Bryant this week to find out what he thinks of his freshman season in college basketball.
I feel like it's gone amazing. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than the experience aspect of the game of basketball, and just being able to compete in these Big 12 games as a freshman, I mean, it's a blessing. So I think just in the place I want to be individually and as a team, I think we're in the same spot for that as well.
When Tommy was recruiting you and the staff was recruiting you, did they say anything about like how much they thought you would play?
No, and I think that was one of the things that drew me towards the school, because I'm not a person that wants to have promises and all of these things, because feel like a lot of time that leads to disappointment, and I felt with the coaching staff not ever promised me anything or telling me anything necessarily what was going to happen. It allowed me to come in with an open mind and kind of a fresh perspective. And it allowed me to understand that everything I do on the court, everything that I am capable of on the court, it was earned. And it wasn't necessarily handed out or given to me. And obviously you have to work for everything, but it means so much more now knowing how I went about the process and how the coaching staff has worked with me and instilled confidence in me as the season has gone along.
Carter, you have such a profound basketball knowledge and can express that maybe better than a lot of kids your age. When did you begin to kind of figure this whole thing out from the basketball perspective and be able to verbalize it the way that you can?
Man, when I was young, I mean, my dad coached multiple NBA players. He coached Kawhi Leonard. He coached Tony Snell. I was just around a lot of good basketball when I was younger. My uncle played for University of Missouri, and I got to see him coach in the NBA. He played overseas, so I would say just my love for the game and how much I was around it. You just hear terminology. I mean, I'm on the other side shooting, trying to make sure the ball isn't hitting the floor during my dad's high school practices when he was at Martin Luther King or Olu. And you're kind of listening in at the same time. Even though you're a little kid, you don't really realize it, and you're kind of watching and kind of assessing what's going on. But I would say just from that, and I think my love for the game has just grown so much more as I've gotten older. I mean, I remember going and watching so many games on YouTube. I would go and watch 2010 finals games. I would go and watch Kobe highlights all the time. I was a big Paul George guy when he was in Indiana. I loved watching Brandon Roy. I loved watching Tracy McGrady, Hakeem Olajuwon, all those guys. So just watching that, and along with, I was a big post-game interview guy. I love watching Kobe talk after the game. I just loved, he was so different in terms of, he never really, for lack of better terms, he never really BS'd anything. He was always very straightforward. He always told the truth and his honest opinion. And I think I just gravitated towards it. I think that's why my knowledge is where it is today.
You talk about your love for Kobe. Obviously, when he died, how did that affect you as a kid?
It was crazy. It was crazy. Obviously, it's a thing where you don't necessarily know the person, but when you see, especially myself being from Southern California, when you see a guy that you grew up watching, obviously I have the same last name as him, so it was definitely put me in shock. I was actually in the middle of a basketball game when I heard about it, but it was a crazy day, as it was for anybody else that loves the game of basketball or just people in general. It's always hard when you lose somebody, but someone like him that was such an icon in California and even internationally, it's hard.
Didn't you live near where you went to that St. Hill? Was that near that?
I believe so. His oldest daughter went there, I believe. Bianca, no, that's not, Natalia, yeah. I believe, went there.
So how was, especially the other night when you're playing four, and then the other night you're, relied on even more with the foul situation. How has that grown your game? I guess just having to deal with that. And I know you've talked about you played a lot of post, obviously, in high school or whatever, but it seems like you're versatile enough to play wherever. And how's that changed?
Yeah, it's obviously so much different at this level. You have guys that are so much bigger, stronger, faster, and just being able to process the game at different speeds and understanding guys' personnel and their tendencies. I think that's just the hardest adjustment in terms of guarding guys that are bigger than you and stronger than you. But at the end of the day, it's basketball. It's the reason why you love the sport. There's so much versatility. You get to guard guys 1 through 5 in my case. So it's not necessarily it's an honor. I take it as an honor. I take it as a challenge every time I'm on the floor. So every opportunity I get to guard whoever, I enjoy it. I enjoy taking on that challenge. And obviously when you're getting to stay on the basketball floor longer, you're never going to argue with that.
What shots are you comfortable taking right now, Carter? And I ask that because a few times I've seen you get the ball around the elbow, open from maybe about 15, but you've passed it out and maybe, passed up that shot. Are you comfortable taking that shot from, 15 to 16 feet in that area right now?
Yeah, I would say that shot was my bread and butter all throughout high school. But I think also it definitely depends on situational things, and you just want to try to get the highest percentage shot, whether it's early or late in the shot clock. But I feel like sometimes when I'm catching the ball at those elbow, the high post area, when you're early in the shot clock, you kind of want to move the ball, pops, get to dip multiple sides and see if we can get a layup or even a floater, something closer at the rim. But I mean, I have no problem taking that shot or any shot in the game of basketball. That's why I get up every day, wake up and work in my craft. So I'm comfortable taking any shot.
Is there any part of your game that you feel like you're still behind where you want to be or where you should be?
I wouldn't say there's any spot I'm behind where I should be, because I feel like everything happens for a reason. My growth and my development happens the way it does because that's just the way God intended it to be. But I have nowhere that I really sit down and look at. I'm like, I have to get better at this. I have to get better at that, because I feel like in the game of basketball, there's never such thing as a perfect player. You're never done in terms of your growth, and you're never so much better at one thing than another, because it's game of basketball. You're just constantly expanding your game. I feel like we've seen that over the years with a lot of guys in the NBA. You see guys that weren't necessarily shooting the 3-ball or didn't shoot threes at all. They've expanded their game as the league has went on and progressed. So I never see it as that. I just see it as it's just going to take time for me to kind of walk into that.
Around this time last year, I think it was KJ had said that he was still getting used to how he would get called for fouls, and that maybe as a freshman he doesn't get the same call that a junior or senior. Is that something that's ever gone through your head where you're like, I need to figure out how they call this? Mm-hmm. I know it's different each game, but is that something that you've thought about?
No, not to be honest. I haven't. Defensively, I have, but offensively, in terms of me getting to the free throw line.
Getting called for fouls.
Yeah, I would say I've definitely looked at that. It's most of the time you have an initial reaction. I think that's something I have to get better with, is not making a reaction when I get fouls called on me. I mean, when you're a competitor and especially walk in, you're going to have reactions during the span of a basketball game. But a lot of times you overreact and you really go back, watch the film. I mean, I think I had a call against I don't remember exactly what game it was, but I think I had 3 or 4 fouls in that game. I looked back at 2 of them. I'm like, there's no way it's a foul. Got back on the flight back home, loaded up the games to the computer. I was watching film. I was like, I definitely got a piece of them there. So it's like,
Cincinnati, maybe?
It might have been Cincinnati. Yeah, so it's stuff like that. You don't really notice it in the span of the game because the game is so physical, especially in the new conference. So you're not really picking up certain things, but there's certain things that affect basketball players more than other things in terms of physicality.
How would you describe the chemistry that you have with Henry? It seems like you guys have, he's fed you, you've fed him a few times around that basket.
Yeah, I love Henry. Our chemistry is it's something that happens so natural as well. It wasn't anything that was forced. I think us just understanding how to play off each other, being with each other in that second group constantly in practice, competing against each other kind of. I've had to guard him so many times in practice, so understanding what he likes to do and not putting him in uncomfortable situations. And I think we just have a like-minded attitude in terms of getting each other involved, and not necessarily us two, but getting the whole team involved. I think we're both very unselfish players, and I think we just happen to find each other on certain plays and certain cuts, so it happens more naturally than you would think.
Could defending him in practice help? When you're playing, you could draw on that when you're playing offensively with him or whatever.
Yeah. No, for sure, because in basketball, you're going to get in situations where you want to get your guys better, especially in practice. That's the time where you're supposed to be most uncomfortable. You're supposed to get tired during practice. Practices are supposed to be hard. Nothing's supposed to be easy. So when you get into the game, not necessarily that it's going to be easier, but it allows you to think slower. You want to be able to process things much more crisp and cleaner. So competing against guys like Henry, Tobe, Trey, along with the guards on our team, it kind of gives you a perspective of, okay, do I want to get this guy this catch here? Is he comfortable getting this catch here, or putting guys in positions where they're the most comfortable scoring the basketball, I would say.
How's this rhythm of the schedule working for you? I mean, Tommy's saying, at least for coaches, not really any days off. You get back late Tuesday night or late Wednesday morning, they go to work. Do you have to go to school or anything, or can you just get away from it Wednesday? Does that help recharge, or what's it been like?
Nope, if you got your class, you're gonna walk over to class, make sure you're sitting there, get your education. Then afterwards, you're gonna walk over to Cats, make sure you're doing your tutoring and making sure all your assignments are done. Because at the end of the day, school is school. You're gonna have to deal with it just as much as with basketball. You're gonna have to. It's something you're responsible for. It's you're a collegiate athlete for a reason. You're not gonna just be here to play basketball. You have to get your education. I believe it's a very important thing in my life, especially because I come from a family of educators. So, I mean, I enjoy it. I remember coming home from days in high school. I mean, I think my senior year I had 2 or 3 classes. So there was days I would be done by there was days I would be done by 9:30, 9:45, but being here and just having the constant busyness of your schedule, I enjoy it, whether it's watching film, doing stuff academically, or getting on the court and just getting better.
So even Wednesday, like you guys got back like what, early Wednesday morning?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2 or something?
Yeah.
Get up. What time did you get up Wednesday morning and get going like that?
I actually had to head home for something with my fam, but I mean, usually get back from a road trip. I'm usually up by 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm definitely trying to get some more sleep in, but usually up by 9, 10 o'clock, just treat it as a normal day. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat. It's brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet. Carter Bryant, always enjoy hearing him talk a little basketball for sure. Boy, he got off to a really fast start in that win on Saturday. I'm sorry, the win on Tuesday night. I kind of felt like, and I'll ask you guys this, should they have tried to get him the ball a little bit more in the second half of that ball game? I think he scored all of his points in the first half of the game the other night, but didn't really get much in the second half of the game. We talk about it all the time, you know, how do we get guys going, whether that's Caleb Love, whether that's Trey Townsend. Well, you know, Carter Bryant, that's another guy that, you know, when he's hot like that, you'd like to see him maybe take a few more shots in the second half than he did in that game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's what you would like. But, you know, a lot of times as a coach, man, it's tough because, you know, it's not necessarily that you have a pecking order, but you have a pecking order. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of situations, and you can't try to get everybody off.
And you got your answer right there, DK, when you asked him about his 15-foot elbow jump shot. I mean, that's his bread and butter, like you said, from high school. But the idea of the young man, and you also asked him a question about how he verbalizes so well concept of basketball. He understands early in the shot clock, you're really trying to move the ball around to try to get the best shot. Kelvin, who wins games? The teams that get the most layups. That's what Kelvin Ifon always says. So the idea that he's, you know, wise beyond his years and understands, DK, that, yes, he's 5 for 5 in a situation like that. How many shots, how many field goal attempts, Kelvin, does Caleb Love have if he starts out 6 for 6? Probably ends up with 15, 20 because there's a lot of heat checks involved there. But this young man, he's not looking for heat checks, DK. He's just trying to work. He's trying to take what the defense gives him. I'll tell you what happened. 5 for 5. Next time that the coaching staff has a chance to sit down with their players defensively, Kelvin, they're like, hey, this kid over here is 5 for 5, this 18-year-old. Let's make sure that, you know, we send an extra guy over there and that kind of thing. So, yeah, he's not forced anything. So 5 for 5 is great. Even if he doesn't score in the second half, it just means that he's taken what the defense gave him.
Now, well, and I don't have a problem with what he said there, but what I just said to Kelvin when we were listening to that was the 2 times he passed up the shots that I'm talking about did not lead to layups. They led to 3-point shots. So that's fine, but I still think there's some hesitancy there for him. And again, it might just be young. He's young. He's a freshman, you know. And freshmen aren't necessarily always going to be comfortable in those situations.
Yes, and you're really trying to do what the coach wants the offense to do. That's to move the ball and let the ball create the shots. And sometimes as a player, I be telling guys, like, you have to pass up a shot that you would take. Sometimes you have to pass it up for a guy that's a little more open. And a lot of times you could have easily took that shot. And it's tough for a lot of people to learn that. So for him at such a young age to understand deferring, right, that's tough when you've been the top player all through high school or whatnot. To be able to be a freshman and understand, make that extra pass because that's the flow offense. Sometimes you make too many passes. You probably should have taken that shot. But that's something that the coaches got to go on film, you know, and ask for a little bit more. But I know they're trying to get Del Orso going. You're trying to get Caleb going. And he's a little bit further down, you know, that totem pole when it comes to that.
It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. 520-848-1290 is our phone number. You can call us. You can text us. It is the morning, so my voice is not always all there. Still trying to get up and get things going here. But, hey, if you want to watch this show, we are streaming it on a number of different platforms. We are on Facebook Live. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch, so you can watch the show on any of those platforms. You can also listen to the show on any of your mobile devices. Alexa, Google Play, just say, hey, put on Wildcats Radio 1290, and Alexa will turn that on, and you can listen to the pregame show while you're doing your yard work, your honeydew chores here before you get over to McKale Center. If you're out and about getting the house or the condo cleaned up before you get down to McKale Center today, flip us on any of your mobile devices, and we'll keep you abreast on everything that is Arizona basketball. Much more straight ahead. 1 hour in the books. Hour 2 coming up as we get you closer to tip-off here. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Postal Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management, wealth well managed, life well lived.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 9,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get it off to Love, back over to Bradley. Fire at right corner. Del Orso drives the baseline, shovel it off. Townsend pump fake, turns, goes up with a shot. Tough shot, and it rolls in for Trey Townsend.
Yeah, Townsend with the shooter's touch there off the back rim. Now he's in double figures.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Hour number 2 of our pregame show. What do we got coming up for you? Well, we've got the scoreboard, college basketball. We've got some NBA in Paris happening. The Indiana Pacers, Ben Mathurin, TJ McConnell against the San Antonio Spurs. This is the second of 2 games. Victor Wembanyama going home to his home country. Indiana up early in that game right now, 25-18 over the Spurs. DK with TL is coming up in this segment. That is sponsored, as always, by nobody. And it is my questions to the head coach this week. Mark Johnson will join us for our opponent scouting report. He is the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. That was one of the best voices you'll ever want to hear. And our view from courtside. We've got a women's game going on tonight at McKale Center. It's another doubleheader Saturday. We've got Arizona men's basketball at 1, Arizona women's basketball at 6:30. The ladies are going to take on number 16, West Virginia. Man, their home schedule, this is their third home Big 12 game this season, if you count, because I think actually maybe Baylor had fallen out of the top 25. So they were just outside the top 25 when Baylor came to town. But Baylor, Iowa State, and now West Virginia, they didn't win the first 2 games. They'll have an opportunity to maybe get a win against a ranked opponent tonight. That's at 6:30. So Joan Bonvincini, the former head coach of the Arizona women's basketball team and analyst on the broadcast for ESPN Plus, along with Cindy Brunson, Coach B will join us for your view from courtside. That is coming up a little bit later.
Mark Johnson's voice sounds like an old vintage Stetson hat, like if it could talk. Like basically that's what his voice sounds like.
Yeah, and he can wear that Stetson hat pretty good too.
As well as anybody.
Cowboy Mark Johnson, one of the longtime voices in the Pac-12 and now Big 12 with the Colorado Buffaloes. He's a perfect fit for that a team on the plains for sure. Love talking to Mark about football and basketball. We'll get his thoughts on Deion Sanders and the football team and how they wrapped up their season after they came here to Tucson and kicked Arizona's butt and spoiled homecoming. We prefer not to remember that. Anyway, let's go to DK with TL. As always, it is sponsored by nobody. My questions to the head coach of your Arizona men's basketball team.
Tommy, obviously you guys have had these 2-2s, 2 home, 2 away concept, which was like the Pac-12. Now you're about to enter into the schedule where it's going to be 1-1, 1 home, 1 away. Do you like that format?
We'll find out. You know, I mean, there's no reason to form an opinion yet because we haven't done it. So, you know, we'll just, like I said, what's on the schedule and what's in front of us, we'll tackle it as it comes. And, you know, we're just excited to play game to game. You know, we got a group of guys that I think's, you know, kind of coming together as a team. You know, that doesn't mean there's not going to be bumps in the road, but I like, you know, the progress we've made overall. And, you know, we got to continue to fight to make progress, you know, in late January and February. You know, it's when teams can kind of maybe separate themselves from the pack, and so we need to knuckle down and fight for that.
When you went back and looked at the tape of the last game against Oklahoma State, what did you like about Trey's performance and the way he kind of handled that situation?
You know, I thought Trey played well, and I thought it was effort-based, and that's what he and I have talked about, is just, finding maybe more of his opportunities through effort, as opposed to script, and I thought he did well, and I hope to see more of that. To me, he's a really good player and an impactful player, and like I said, hey, he's, you play 4 years at a school, and that school is really successful. They play a certain way, and then you go to another school, and maybe they play a little different style and different conference and different teammates, and there's just a little bit of a learning process. And so, I think you got to give guys, space and room to explore it during that process, and not feel like you got all the answers. And the best solutions are usually going to be the ones found, through effort. And guys, figuring out where their opportunities are on their own, as opposed to me scripting everything.
Henry finally had that game where he struggled that you had mentioned was probably going to happen eventually. How did you feel like he kind of responded to that?
I thought it was good. It was coming. I didn't love the struggle in the moment, but, it happens. And, Texas Tech did a good job against him, and he didn't do a great job against them. And, the next game you come out, you're hoping he's going to bounce back, but he picks up 2 fouls right away. And, kind of made a disjointed, rotation, and his opportunities were limited. And then in the second half, I think he got in there and made 1 or 2 good plays and then picked up another foul. But I thought the last 10 minutes of the game, he finally settled in and got a little bit of an extended opportunity, and I thought he played great and made a real big impact.
You had mentioned in your post-game radio interview that you went to Caleb and told him, we need you. What's the essence of when you make a statement like that to a player, what you want from them, and then what you saw in the game that was the essence of
Brian, it goes to what you told me that people are listening to the radio. And now that I know that, yeah. So, listen, Caleb's a great player. And Caleb's maybe carried a little bit of a burden this year. And, we're trying to help him with it, and but hopefully, last game's a breakthrough. But these seasons are hard, and I'm sure there'll be some more ups and downs for Caleb. But when he's had some games this year when it's been right, where he's looked amazing, and we just got to try to find a way to help him keep himself there. I think he's the owner of that, and he's the owner of his emotions. He's the owner of his feelings. And, I don't think, any of his disappointment or anything has to do with the team as opposed to him. I think he's just being hard on himself. And so hopefully we got him in a good way because, obviously when he's better, he gives us a whole nother a level we can get to. And we can say that about some other guys on our team as well.
In a follow to that, he took 17 shots in that game. There's been games when he's only taken maybe 8 or 9. Do you need him to take more shots?
Well, I don't necessarily count like shots per person. I just count quality possessions, quality shots. Are we connecting on offense? Are we, is the ball finding the right guy? You could have a guy take, 15 shots, but if 10 of them are bad, that's probably not good. So we're just looking for quality shots. I think in that game, his shot quality was pretty good. And, he made a few of them, which helps. But that's what we're fighting for is just that shot quality. And I think our shot quality was better on Tuesday than it was on Saturday. And that's something we got to continue to fight for.
And we're going to hear the head coach talk a little bit more about shot quality a little bit later, guys, when we dive into where the Wildcats are right now in terms of their 3-point shooting. But again, interesting response to that question in terms of, hey, I just want Caleb to be taking good shots and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be at a high volume. It doesn't have to be at the 17 that he took in the game at Oklahoma State. But if he takes 17 shots, and the majority of those are good shots, then we're good with that.
Yeah, as you just said, the majority, because, some shots are not going to be the greatest when you're being aggressive, man. Because you have to have a confidence in yourself and your ability to score that sometimes is, not realistic, right? But you got to have it in you because if the defenders see any chink in your armor, they're gonna really get into you. And I think sometimes that's where Caleb, mess up sometimes, where things don't go right is he kind of shows it in his body language, and it just turns up the defense. It turns up the opponents, making them think they actually got you when they really don't, right? So you just need them staying aggressive, man. I mean, and you accept a couple bad shots, especially if they're attacking the rim. I just think it's more than anything, J-Dub, it's the three-point attempts to me. He has to keep those at a I think below 8.
Some players, guys, get a little too carried away with the heat checks or heat chuckers, if you will. And there's been guys, Kelvin, in the past at the U of A, where if they made a shot, it was a 100% chance the next time they touched the ball, they were letting it fly. I don't need to name names, but there's guys who've come through this program. Caleb is really that kill shot guy. So he's that guy who, if he makes it from 25 feet out, and it extends the Arizona Wildcat lead to 4, and they get a stop. You know what he's trying to do the next time?
30.
Hit another 25-footer to stretch that lead out to 7. And he does that pretty much consistently, like 80, 90% of the time, Kelvin, that he's in that scenario. He's going to let that shot fly. That's fine, go in or not. The problem then is that if that trend continues, and over the course of the next 5-10 possessions, he's in that heat check mode. You really just need to take what the defense gives you. Caleb Love's been around this game so long. He understands where his spots are. He understands where to get his shots, Kelvin, as well as anybody in this country. Shot selection, DK, has always been the young man's issue. 37% is a career field goal percentage shooter for your leading scorer, Kelvin.
And you think about it. One of the problems has been he's always been on a team that was deficient in having guys that could create their own shot. You look at the North Carolina teams, they didn't have many guys that could put the ball on the floor and create
they had
something.
Inside guys when he was there.
They had giants that basically got doubled and had to, guess what? Throw it back out to a guy, late shot clock possession. They had to chuck up something, right? So that was the game. And a lot of times that falls on guards a lot of times when things are not working well. We always tell the guys we'd rather have a shot than a turnover. So you got to go back and look at them. Some of those shots is late shot clock situations. It was a time when Jaden Bradley and KJ Lewis and Dale Orso were struggling. So who's taking those shots and not making them and getting the brunt of the criticism? So like being the best player sometimes, I tell guys all the time, you have to watch out for it because you're going to get patted on the back when things are going well, but you're going to get the biggest kick in the butt, when the things are not.
All right, before we get to it, we got Mark Johnson coming up here. I want to get to this one cut from Tad Boyle. We mentioned just kind of the roster that they've got this year, and here's an interesting stat. This is the fewest minutes played returning in Tad Boyle's 15-year tenure at the University of Colorado. And the Buffaloes entered the season, they had the Big 12's least amount of total Division I minutes played, with a little under 6,000. Tad Boyle looking for that go-to player right now.
Here's the thing about our team. When things go bad, we feel sorry for ourselves. Okay, and I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying when I say it's on me. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I can tell you, nobody needs to feel sorry for me. All right? I need to do a better job. Our players are feeling sorry for themselves. And that's a problem because when you internalize and oh my God, I feel so woe is me, you're not helping your team. So Andrei Yakimovsky is guarding their best player, who's a good player, had 25 points on us tonight. I think Richie Saunders is an all-league player. Drives by him on the baseline, and we're supposed to have 3 guys on the weak side with 2 feet in the paint. And he drives by him and lays it in the goal, and there's nobody there to help him. Those guys are thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about helping Andre. And defensively, you have to help each other if you're going to be any good at this game, this level. And we're not helping each other because we're concerned about ourselves. And that is a problem. And we've talked about it. We've showed it on film. And again, we've got a pretty good coaching staff. I believe that. I thought our game plan tonight, Coach Greer did a great job on the scout. I thought our game plan for Oklahoma State, I wouldn't go back and change them. We're not executing the game plans. And, last year, Washington State, we talked to Andre about this, they would start out in zone and they would go to man like halfway through the possession. Well, guess what? BYU did that tonight. We practiced that yesterday. We knew what we were supposed to do when that happened. We didn't do it. So it's the execution of the game plan that we're not getting done. And again, that falls on the head coach. Not feeling sorry for myself. It just falls on me. And I'm going to keep trying. This team is a collective team. We don't have one guy that can carry this team, offensively or defensively. So we have to rely on each other. And we're playing 9, 10, 11 guys. I have confidence in all of those guys. The problem is you don't know which guys are going to show up. Andre was playing, I thought he played pretty well offensively tonight. Did some really good things. And he picked up a couple fouls. But now when Sebi comes in or Harrison comes in or whoever comes in, I don't feel like we need to drop off. So it's not like, we didn't have Banga, we didn't have Andre, we can't stop BYU. Forget that. We got other guys that can guard. Just got to do it. So I don't look at one guy and say, oh man, if we don't have him, we're in trouble. But if we collectively don't compete defensively and collectively don't move the ball and share the ball offensively, this team has no chance to win. Zero. Because we don't have that dude. We've had some dudes in the past. We don't have that dude right now, so we got to rely on each other. We're not doing that right now.
Tough to win when you don't have a dude. Only 2 players on this team averaging in double figures. Julian Hammond at 14 points. Andre Yakumovsky at 10 points. We'll talk about that with the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes, Mark Johnson. Coming up next, it is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of our pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management, wealth well managed, life well lived.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary. Call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
All right, let's take a look at today's opponent, a familiar opponent as the Colorado Buffaloes come to town alongside us from the Pac-12 in this new conference. Pleased to be joined once again by the voice of the Buffaloes, Mark Johnson. And Mark, outside of the fact that this is a young team with a lot of new players kind of struggling through this first year in the Big 12, how's everything else gone from your side and for this team side and this new conference on the basketball side?
Well, it's been a little bit of a tough transition. I think we kind of knew for Tad and this team, you lose 3 essentially first-round draft picks, a year ago off of a very good 26-win team, and you knew it was going to be kind of a transitionary year. I don't think it's been nearly what we expected, though. This team has underperformed, I think, at this point in time, and it's been frustrating. They can't take care of the basketball. Tad Boyle has always been a very defensive-minded coach with a great rebounding team. They're doing that inconsistently, and so it's been a little bit of a tough transition. I think going into the Big 12, which is the best basketball conference in America for Colorado.
No question about that. I mean, you look at it, obviously, no wins so far in conference play at 0-7. Tough ball game against BYU. You mentioned some of those guys gone: KJ Simpson, Cody Williams, among the top 2 players in the Pac-12 last year, and the fewest minutes returned, I think, in the tenure of Tad Boyle, which is now going on 15 years. What was he hoping to get out of some of these new players that have come in here, the transfers that he's brought in? You mentioned kind of rebounding has not been going as well as you would have liked it. Did he anticipate that this might be a tough transition with losing as much as you guys did last year?
Well, I think that the hope was you bring in a guy like Elijah Malone inside, who's 6'10", 270 pounds. And yes, he did come from the NAI level, but he was a player of the year in that league. And then you bring in the RMAC player of the year, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference player of the year, in Trevor Basket, who's 6'9", a very long, athletic guy. And then, of course, we all know Andre Yakimovsky, who came in from Washington State, who was a nice player, up there. And those guys have had moments this season. The issue has become between, here's three guys that are fourth or fifth year guys that you're expecting to come in, and yes, they've got a transition, and yes, for two of them, they're moving up divisions, but you want to see consistency. You want to see every game that they come in, and if those three guys were every night, game in and game out, giving you 35 points and 15 rebounds combined between those three guys, you'd be like, okay, well they're giving us that every night, and they're doing what they need to do on the defensive end. The problem has been it's been one game, one of them will play well, the other two won't, and then the next game it's another one steps up, and the other two don't, and so that's been kind of the issue. You never want to count on young guys. You look at some of the young players Tad has got. You don't want to count on them every single night, but veteran guys you should be able to get consistent play out of. Julian Hammond is leading the Boston scoring. He was always kind of a role guy, in the backcourt for Colorado. He's come out and played relatively well game in and game out. He's had a moment or two where he hasn't been great, but he's at least been consistent out there in the perimeter. So that's been part of the problem. And so you don't know night in and night out. Is this going to be a good defensive team? Is it going to be a good rebounding team? And then we haven't even talked about the turnovers yet right now. And Colorado's leading the Big 12 in turnovers per ball game, and that has been just brutal at times. And so it's been that inconsistency that we've seen all season long that continues to be the issue.
It's our scouting report, and it's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. We are here to get you there. Mark Johnson, the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes, is joining us. It looks like there's been, obviously, you've had a consistent, looks like starting five in Hammond, Yakimovsky, Elijah Malone, and then Hassan Diop, but has he? I've seen a lot of other guys getting starts. Is Tad still kind of trying to find that fifth piece in the starting lineup?
Well, it's been he's used 16 different starting lineups at some point this season, and so you're looking for answers out there. My guess is in this matchup with Arizona, we might see a different starting lineup because we were doing our show on Thursday night in Boulder, and he said something about, nobody's really risen to the top and taken possession of a job at this point in time. It's been, and some of it's been because of injuries. I mean, we know that's going to happen. We're going to have guys dinged up and they miss a game or two, and so you alter your starting lineup. But that hasn't been the reason why it's been so inconsistent in the start five at this point in time. And so it's searching for answers. Who's going to take possession of the job, or who's going to earn the most minutes? And so I think at this point, sitting at 0-7 right now in this league, and some of those losses have been very, very close. I mean, the one down in Central Florida was very close. Iowa State at home was a very close game. Even the BYU game the other night, they're playing very well, and then all of a sudden the bottom falls out offensively. Go 14 minutes without a field goal, for goodness sake. And so you're just looking for somebody to say, okay, this job is mine, and guarantee that they're going to give you what they promise to give you every single night.
The night you guys beat UConn in Maui, did you think that night that, hey, maybe this is not going to be as bad as we thought it was going to be when you were able to knock off the two-time defending champs?
Well, that was so early in the season, the Maui Invitational, and you say, okay, see, going through the non-conference portion of the slate, Colorado went 9-2. Now, they didn't have the toughest non-conference schedule, but still, they were in Maui, played three very tough teams, beat UConn, who still is sitting inside the top 20 at this point in time, and as you mentioned, the two-time defending champion, you think, okay, this isn't going to be a team at the top of the Big 12, but it's going to be in the mix in this thing. And that's been the surprising aspect, is that once we got into conference play, and it just kind of continues to build upon itself. And you know the way this works. Once you lose a handful of ball games, you start thinking about it, and then the pressure starts rising. You got to go back to 2016-17. That team for Colorado started 0-7 in Pac-12 play. But keep in mind, they had a first-round draft pick in Derek White on that team, and they turned it around and had a heck of a run down the stretch. Nearly made the NCAA tournament, went to the NIT, made a little bit of noise there, and so I just don't know that you've got that kind of guy on this team that's going to help turn this thing. This has got to be a more team-by-committee type deal than it is having a star like Derek White was that can really alter things and really take games over. This has got to be more of a unit turning things around, and so that's what we're waiting to see if they can possibly do that.
R.J. Smith's one of those guys that's kind of been in and out of the starting lineup, but a guy that's been able to knock down some threes. What's kind of his role? Is he kind of maybe that guy that can come off the bench and give this team a spark?
Well, he can be, but again, he's a young player. I mean, he is in his third year, but it's his third year because of injuries, and so he hasn't played all that much. He's a very good shooting player. I think there's really an opportunity for him to grow as he's kind of got through some of the health issues that he's had. But again, it's one game you get some nice play, you hit some big threes. Other games you get kind of quiet. Early on this season, up until about 5 games ago, he's shooting over 50% from downtown. He's always been a very good shooter. Now, the defense changes a little bit once you get into Big 12 play, and that's one thing. The ball security and the intensity that we've seen defensively from the opposition has kind of altered things. And RJ's, I think, in a learning process trying to figure out how that's all going to work. And so he hasn't been nearly as effective the last handful of games as he was early on the season. But he's got the ability. I mean, he's a guy I think they look at. When you look at this team down the road, and he's one of the young guys, Sebastian Ronchik, the 2 bigs inside, Bang Dak and Hassan Jope, those are the kind of guys you look at. There's a guy coming off the bench right now, doesn't play a lot of minutes as a true freshman in Felix DeSaris, big-bodied, NBA-looking guy. And then what Cat has coming up next year, you kind of look ahead of this thing and you go, okay, you can kind of see where the core of this, if you can keep it together in this NIL transfer portal age, if you can kind of see where those guys can grow into a nice-looking team. But the problem is a lot of those guys you look at right now are awful young, and they're not fully developed and haven't matured at this point.
Mark Johnson, Colorado broadcaster, is our guest with your scouting report. It's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. We are here to get you there. Mark, you guys have played Iowa State twice. You saw them in Maui in the final there. You also saw them in Big 12 play. They're coming in here Monday night. What kind of team are the Wildcats going to see here in about 48 hours?
That is a Final Four caliber basketball team. They are so good in the perimeter. The first game we saw them in Maui didn't go very well. Colorado got his tail kicked. At home, it was a very good competitive game. I think Iowa State ended up winning by, 8 or 10 by the time it was all said and done. I think, and I haven't seen Houston firsthand, but I think Houston and Iowa State are the best 2 teams in the Big 12 right now. I don't know that Iowa State has a real obvious weakness. I think the guard play is phenomenal. They're strong. They play well. They're tough. They're skilled. The bigs are active inside, so that'll be a heck of a challenge coming up for the Wildcats here in a couple of days because I do think Iowa State is a legitimate national championship contender, Final Four quality team.
Outstanding. I got to ask you, obviously, about football. How did give me a synopsis of these after we saw you guys here on homecoming? How it went for Colorado, the finish, getting to a bowl game with Dion and company, the turnaround, and just all the fanfare around your 2 outstanding players in Shadir Sanders and Travis Hunter.
Well, when you consider where we were 24 months ago when Dion first got there, 1-11 and totally irrelevant, and then the improvement in year 1 to win 9 games in year number 2, have maybe the best quarterback in America in Shadir Sanders and the Heisman Trophy winner in Travis Hunter. It was a phenomenal turnaround, a great season. The bowl game, Colorado didn't perform very well in the Alamo Bowl against BYU. BYU kind of kicked the Buffs' tails, but a great year number 2 for Deion Sanders. I know you've been seeing all the stories out there about the flirtations at the NFL. I don't think any of those are going to happen. My expectation is here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a new contract for Coach Prime, and you move into year number 3. He's putting together a great recruiting class, what he's done through the transfer portal and getting Juju Lewis, one of the top quarterbacks in America. And so, from a football standpoint, everything looks very bright for Colorado and kind of exciting for Buffs fans moving into year number 3 for Deion Sanders.
And in terms of your fan base, jazzed about this return to the past and being back in this Big 12 conference?
Yeah, I think so. When you look at Colorado's history, Big 7, Big 8, Big 12, all that they did there, winning championships and everything. And I've always tried to explain to people the fan base, or the alumni base, I should say, for Colorado is certainly on the West Coast. That's why it made sense, all those years ago going to the Pac-12. But the history is in the Midwest, in the Big 12. And so I think from a fan perspective, there was never an emotional connection to, coming down here to Tucson or going to Los Angeles or going up to Eugene, Oregon. There was just no history there. And so getting back to the Big 12 now and revisiting some of those old haunts, going to Iowa State and going to, Lawrence, Kansas, and Manhattan, Kansas, and Stillwater, Oklahoma, That's where the history has been for Colorado. And so I think from fan perspective, they're very excited about it.
And interesting, Mark, you guys are obviously one of the universities that doesn't maybe have the number of total programs that some of the others do. Is there talk at all to add any more programs on the women's side at all? Maybe, and I know you guys don't play either baseball or softball. Has there been conversations about adding any of those types of programs?
And listen, I don't think anybody's adding programs. I think we're going to see in college football. This isn't Colorado specific. Yeah. You're going to start seeing dropping programs with what's going on in college athletics, with the House decision coming down, and then programs having to come up with $21 or $22 million. Expansion, I don't think, is in anybody's docket right now. I think it's about tightening it down. And listen, you and I could go on for the next 5 hours about where this thing is all going. And so I think we're going to, you've already seen in the last, 18 or 24 months here, that they very quietly dropped the number of sports you have to have in college athletics. That's probably going to continue. And who knows if the NCAA is even going to be around another couple of years. So, no, I don't think anybody's going to be adding anything at this point in time. Everyone's trying to come up with $22 million to pay their student athletes.
Yeah. How big a deal is the ski program there? We talk about it sometimes here. It's like Colorado's really good at skiing. That's one thing they always win a national championship in. Is that like a huge thing there within that program?
Oh, yeah, but, between cross-country and skiing, Colorado's won a bunch of national championships. And, the issue is with skiing is that, there aren't that many programs around the country. You've got, you got the East Coast and Vermont and Maine and places like that. And you got Utah and Denver and the Montana schools and schools like that. But it's a huge program. A lot of Olympians have come through Colorado. A lot of gold medals have come through Colorado because they're skiing. And so it's a huge program. The issue becomes, nationally, not many people pay attention to it. It seems to be geographically located, kind of like hockey.
There you go. Hey, Mark, always appreciate the chance to chat with you. Have a great call.
All right. You bet. Take care.
Mark Johnson, the voice of the Colorado Buffaloes, with your scouting report.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
Not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary. Call ahead's welcome or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
And now we will see the season debut of Emmanuel Steffen, the 6'11 freshman out of Nigeria. Remember, he was slated to redshirt this year, then the injury to Mo Krivas, and they have activated Emmanuel Steffen, 6'11", 230 pounds. Misses it, and there's Steffen with his first Arizona rebound, and Arizona with the ball. Backcourt Lewis, feed it ahead, Martinez, throw it inside for Steffen, and it goes in! The pass was too high, it went off his fingertips and dropped in, and he gets his first two in an Arizona uniform.
Emmanuel Steffen has played now in 6 games. The 6'11 freshman out of Lagos, Nigeria, got his second most minutes, actually. He played 9 minutes and 11 seconds in the game against Central Michigan earlier, right before Christmas at McKale Center. But to get almost 9 minutes in a Big 12 game, that was a pretty big deal, especially because the Wildcats got into some foul trouble in that game in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 9 minutes, didn't score any points, but did grab 3 rebounds, did turn it over a couple of times, did Emmanuel Steffen, who is playfully known as E-Man by his teammates and head coach. Tommy Lloyd loved the 9 minutes he got from E-Man.
The staff's been on me to give you a chance, and it just, and I love it. I love, the ease, elected to play. When Krivas went out, he was, I'd kind of penciled him into redshirt because I thought that was the best thing for him. But when Krivas went out, he, E-Man could be pretty persuasive and persistent, and he really wanted to play. And I just told him there might not be any opportunities. He didn't care. He just wanted to help the team. So I think that shows the type of character and selflessness he has. The staff's been on me to play him, but it's tough. I still feel like, we're developing Tobey and we're still developing Henry. So I feel like I got to get a lot of reps and put a lot of time into those two guys. So it's hard to find a third guy, but foul trouble dictated that today, and E-Man was awesome. Stepped up and really helped.
Well, and J-Dub, that goes back to kind of what we were talking about with Carter Bryant. And I was saying, I'd like to maybe see him take more of those shots. Same thing with Emmanuel. There's other guys in the food chain that are above him right now that you're depending on a little bit more, but still you love the fact that you needed him and he was able to go in there and give you some solid minutes.
It's so tough, DK, for bigs who come in as freshmen because in general, the guys who are one-and-done level guys are already in the starting lineup. They already have a polished offensive game especially. But the issue with a guy like Emmanuel is that he really is he's a work in progress offensively. So when he gets in these games, DK, he really just needs to be really aggressive going after rebounds, affecting shots defensively. And then, obviously, if he gets the ball going up strong and finishing. The problem being you have to earn. He got in games because of foul trouble, right, DK? Mm-hmm. Not the rotational situation where you might see him get into a game just because the coaching staff. And obviously you heard Coach say there, coaching staff's been getting on him. But from the player's perspective, DK, there's a earning of trust among your teammates and the coaching staff for how you perform in games that a lot of freshmen are hesitant to really try to do too much out there because, as Kelvin Ifan said many times, he got pulled for shooting a three and making it, right?
Right.
So if it's within the offensive flow, we want Stephen obviously to be as aggressive as possible. That's why he's in there at 7 foot, plus, very, very strong young man. He's going to be able to affect games just with his physicality and athleticism. And at the same time, that elbow jumper that you're looking for Carter Bryant, if E-Man catches the ball 16 feet out on the elbow and lets it fly instantly, then, we'll see how those results go. I'm not sure that's what the coaching staff is looking for him right now.
No.
But right now, just energy and effort. That's what he's got to do when he's out there. And so far, so good.
Yeah, Trey Townsend was not surprised that E-Man held his own in the 9 minutes he played against Oklahoma State.
I thought E-Man did such a great job in the time that he came in for us because, I couldn't imagine getting thrusted into a position like that, in the middle of a game. It wasn't like it was the end of the game. It was crunch time minutes throughout, a decent stretch, and he went in there and proved he belongs, playing on the court. So, just seeing that confidence from him, it really inspired all of us to give 100% effort because, that's one thing he's going to do, whether he's on the court or on the bench.
So, and it goes kind of maybe back to what you were just saying there, J-Dub. Tommy Lloyd was asked, is there a possibility that he might use Emmanuel Stephan in a normal rotation type setting?
We'll play that out as it happens. Like I said, he's a developing player, and I feel like Henry and Tobe are still developing. So, I don't think that position's quite settled yet. I think there's been some really good performances out of it, but I'm still looking to continue to develop those guys because traditionally those guys that have played those positions, in our system have been significant impact players, and I'm looking for that every day, from the combination of Tobe, Henry, and Emmanuel.
Yeah, Kelvin, not rotation ready just yet, Emmanuel Stephen, but if you need him in a pinch like they did in Stillwater, he can come in and do some solid things for you. Like we said, grabbed 3 rebounds in the 9 minutes. Unfortunately, did turn it over a couple of times, but for the most part, played solid and gave you what you needed there to try to help keep some guys from fouling out.
Well, one thing great that he brings you, and he brings you a few things actually, but he brings energy. He isn't going to back down. He hustles up and down the court. He has the speed to get up and down the court, and he can challenge shots. So those are things that he can do immediately right now. But right now it's tough. I mean, you got a Walker, you got Henry. It's hard to find minutes for guys at this point in the season, but having him available where you can bring him in with 5 extra fouls to be physical with the other bigs in the Big 12 is huge.
And it's going to be so situational, right? Because if you're talking about 6'9", 260-pound dudes, I mean, that's a Townsend and Waka matchup. But when you get against some lengthier, maybe more athletic guys who are maybe strong around the rim, Kelvin, and are looking to finish strong on the block, Stephan coming in that rotation and being a guy who can match up physically against those guys with more length, with Mo Krivas out of the lineup with his 7'2" and long wingspan, they don't have that. And as good as this front line is, they might not necessarily have the height or the length, Kelvin, to be able to defend against some bigs on the block. So he could, DK, definitely get into the rotation, but I don't think they're going to choose to put him in against a 6'8", strong veteran dude, Kelvin, who's going to go to work with his leverage and use that leverage against the young man as much as against other active bigs, potentially even some of those second unit guys, Kelvin, that you might see coming in some of these games. He could definitely match up right now with a lot of those guys. Really great to see him. And as the players have all said, DK, he's going to bring it. He's going to bring that energy every single time out, and that's all you can ask for a young man in that position.
Well, Toby Waka fouled out of the game at Oklahoma State, played just 15 minutes there. Henry Vasar also was in foul trouble. He played just 12 minutes, and that was one of the reasons why, the main reason why those 9 minutes for Emmanuel Stephan were so needed. Tommy Lloyd this week talked about if there were some teachable moments with his bigs on dealing with quick whistles.
And listen, there's always a tough call here and there, and a lot of times, bigs get fouls pinned on them. You could, if you go back, a second or two in the possession, it could be a breakdown by a guard that leads to penetration. All these little things add up. And, if you're asking your bigs to protect the paint and protect the rim, they're kind of the last line of defense, and that's where a lot of collisions happen, and referees got to make decisions.
All right. Who is going to be that Colorado Buffalo that could get under the Wildcats' skin today.
Who is today's pest of the game?
1 second. Got it at the buzzer.
The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at bepestfree.com.
All right, pest of the game. I am going to go with the graduate senior center, Elijah Malone. This is a guy that they brought in here to be a primary scorer for them. He was early in the season, but struggles have come for him to try to find offense lately. And if they're going to win this game today, they're going to need Elijah Malone to be a big part of that. Out of LaGrange, Illinois, a graduate, played early this season, or played last season, 4 years at Grace College. So this is a young man who is coming up from, they've got, I think, a couple of these young men, as we heard there from Mark Johnson, that are coming up from NIA, a really lower level situation. So we talk about the struggles that we have with guys like Trey Townsend and Anthony Delorso just coming up from mid-majors. This young man coming up from an even lower level, but they're going to need him today if they expect to win here in Tucson. So I'm going with Elijah Malone as my pest of the game.
I definitely agree there. Bangkok Dak, 6'11", only 185 pounds, but a shot blocker, and he's a great passer. You wouldn't believe it. He's a pretty good passer, and he can shoot the three ball. And I think our bigs are going to have, some issues dealing with his length.
I'll go with Julian Hammond, and it's a simple reason. It's because we've heard their Coach Boyle, talk about connectivity issues, about the defensive rotations not being there. And how do you fix that? Well, you have guys who have been in the system for a long time, have waited their turn, sat on the bench and watched other players run that Boyle defensive system. Julian Hammond III is a 4-year Colorado Buff who averaged like 2 points as a freshman, 3 as a sophomore, 6 as a junior, and now he's the leading scorer on that team. So if there's anybody, Kelvin, on this year's Colorado Buffalo roster that can circle the wagons and get those younger players and those transfers from those much lower divisions to play Coach Boyle's system, it's got to be Julian Hammond. So it's really more his voice, I think, out there right now. That's the big threat for the Arizona Wildcats as far as the connectivity of that team's concerned. But, yeah, I mean, leading scorer, he's waited his turn, senior. He's doing his thing. Unfortunately, 0-7 is not what he wanted for his senior year. But for me today, DK, that's my best.
Local kid out of Cherry Creek High School, the famed Cherry Creek High School in Denver, Colorado, Julian Hammond.
And they've had success with those guys from other level. I've had to look it up. Derek White, he was a guy that was Division II, Division III. So you would probably have a lot of those.
He's doing okay.
Yeah. You have a lot of the D2, D3 guys believing in ball because of the success that he had with Derek White, bringing him up from a lower level and him turning into an NBA player.
All right, so we had Julian Hammond. He's currently the team leader in scoring and assists, also second in the Big 12 in free throw percentage, shoots 91% from the line. Ben Dak, say that 10 times fast, a sophomore. We mentioned him earlier, had the 8 blocks in the game against Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, and that's third best ever in Colorado school history. And Elijah Malone, who is leading the team in field goal percentage, shooting 61% from the floor. Those are our pests of the game. And your pests of the game are brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. All right, before we get to break here, we want to circle back again to Tad Boyle one more time. Let's hear from the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. And he talked this week. They suffered a death in the family. Coach McCartney passed away recently, the famed football coach at the University of Colorado passed away. And Tad Boyle talked a little bit about trying to motivate his players and the great Coach McCartney and how he was able to do that so well.
You know, I get up every day and say, how can I help this team? What do I need to do to help this team? And tomorrow's going to be no different. go to bed at night, how can I help this team? How can I help the players in that locker room? And I'm going to continue to try to help them. And I don't feel like I'm doing that right now, and that's why I continue to say how disappointed I am in myself, because I'm not getting that done. And they need to help. They got to believe. I can't make them believe if they don't believe. I wish I could. And before I go, I'll just say, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we're going to honor a guy whose life was really good at making guys believe. I'm not half the coach Bill McCartney was. My heart goes out to his family. See you guys tomorrow at 10.
All right, that was Tad Boyle talking a little bit about Coach Bill McCartney, who passed away back on January the 10th. Coached the Buffaloes football team for 13 seasons, won 93 games, 3 consecutive Big 8 titles with some pretty fine players. That was the Eric Bieniemy, Darian Hagan era of Colorado football, the tragic story of Salonese back in those late 80s, man. I remember those teams well.
Rashawn Salam.
I was going to say,
yeah, rest in peace, man. He was my roommate and with the Raiders, man. Was real good to me, man. Was a real good guy to me, man. I mean, I hated to, hear what happened with him and up at Colorado, because he was working for Colorado,
right,
when the situation happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, our thoughts and prayers out to the McCartney family as well. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour number 2 is complete. One more hour to go as we get you closer to the 1 o'clock tip-off here today in Tucson. Drive safely if you're headed down to McKale Center. It's going to be a sold-out house tonight for the Wildcats and the Buffaloes. We've got much more coming up. Stay with us. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Amazing stuff. That's today's Best of the Game. The Best of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at bepestfree.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam. Arizona.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne. 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Double team briefly, get it to Townsend, pump fake the three. Townsend drives to the baseline, top to Bradley, off for Del Orso, deep three is up and good. Boy, beautiful shot there, great stroke by Anthony Del Orso.
Let's take a look at the Right Way rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, final hour of this program today. We will give you our best bets. The big board over at the Desert Diamond Casino has your Arizona Wildcats as a huge favorite today. 15.5 points. Over under is 150.5. Our view from courtside. Arizona women's basketball will play tonight at McKale Center. 6:30 tip-off against number 16 West Virginia. Joan Bonvincini, the coach, will join us. She'll be on the broadcast tonight with Cindy Brunson on ESPN+. We'll get her thoughts on the call of the game earlier this week, a win over Cincinnati, and what she saw. Keys to the game, starting lineup, scoreboard, all of that still coming up as we take you up till 12:30. And then Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen will have you up until tip-off at 1 o'clock. Arizona Wildcats this year have not necessarily been a team that shoots the three-point shot very well. They are shooting just 32% from three this season. They have had some games, however, where they have taken quite a few. I think they've had they've had 4 games this year where they've taken over 30 threes in a game.
Those would be games where they were behind.
Yeah. Well, Samford, I don't know if that was one of those games.
That was a game where the bench got cleared and they put up a lot of threes.
Yeah.
I always told you, DK, those games don't really count.
Exactly. Exactly. But according to Bruce Pascoe over at the Arizona Daily Star, the number of three-point shots that the Wildcats have taken this year is down, at least according to past seasons for Tommy Lloyd in his first 3 seasons here at the University of Arizona. And Tommy was asked this week if his team is taking enough three-point shots.
I just go to shot quality. I go to shot quality. And, if you take threes, it's great. But, you got to make them. You got the ball's got to go in the basket. So, there's lots of ways to accumulate points. And I know, threes are popular, but at the end of the day, you also got to know your team a little bit. And you can't get, I don't think you can get hung up too much on an ideal, as opposed to reality. And the reality is I think we can be a good offensive team, and I don't think we have to shoot 33s. Now, if we had 30 great threes from the right guys and, they were wide open, I would probably feel really good, So, I mean, to me, it's just more shot quality and then context of the game a little bit. Because the other thing that I think really matters, I think fouls and free throws matter. I think layups matter. Those are important baskets, that we've always, wanted to be strong in those areas. And then I know threes matter as well, but for me, I haven't put a number on it.
I actually gave you the wrong number there. The Wildcats have actually taken 377 three-pointers this season. I think I said 469. That's actually what their opponents have taken. So their opponents have taken almost 100 more threes than the University of Arizona this season, as the Wildcats are averaging about 21 per ball game. One guy who has took a few and made a few in the last game against Oklahoma State was Jaden Bradley, and Tommy Lloyd's got, he likes that. Jaden talked a little bit about, again, he's a guy that's expected to lead this team because he is the point guard, but he says, hey, we've got a lot of leaders on this team.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like this team, we got a lot of guys with experience, and I don't feel like we have, that one person that's, very outspoken and vocal. So I feel like for this team, we have a lot of guys that lead in their own ways, and it could be a different day. It could be that that guy's turn for a leadership. So it's not just one certain guy. We can have Trey one day, KJ, C Love, myself, just anybody.
Jaden Bradley so far this season in terms of three-point shooting, he's taken 38, made 14, so shooting 37% from behind the arc, which again, that's about, if you're shooting above 35, that's what you want. So, but he's taken almost 100 less three-point shots than Caleb Love has.
Different game. Yeah. Different game. His game is getting to the bucket, getting to the mid-range, playing downhill. Caleb is a guy that can score at all three levels. And one of your better three-point shooters on the team, a guy that has to, get those shots up to keep everybody honest, to open the floor for the other guys.
Let's hear from Tommy Lloyd about whether or not he'd like to see Jaden Bradley take more three-point shots.
I want JB, shooting some threes, but again, I trust JB. And I'm going to be comfortable with most of his decisions on the court. And, I think, I know he's shot the ball well enough in front of me and well enough in practice and well enough in workouts to for him making 3 threes in a game isn't a big surprise to me. Now you got to do it under the lights. And I'm going to give him, the freedom to pick and choose his shots. But, I thought he took, great shots. I mean, he took a transition 3, 2 of them. I think he took one was wide open, and the second one, I think he missed one on a dribble up, where they kind of, their transition defense didn't quite get set, and he ended up kind of wide open, and he didn't make it, but I thought it was a great shot. And, I thought the one at the end of half was really big. I mean, not only just for, momentum going into halftime, but just how he did it. I mean, Deli drove, picked it up, pivoted, found JB, he used a great shot fake to get some clearance and then kind of set his feet and let it rip, and really there was no doubt about it. So that was encouraging.
Is a wide open 3 always? We heard him mention several times today. Shot quality. Is a wide open 3 always a good shot to take?
It depends. For certain guys, I'll name them. For Del Orso, Caleb, and I'll say Carter Bryant. Yes. The rest of the guys, I think that, you maybe want to move the ball and see if you can get a better shot. Anytime late shot, though, I mean, if that's the best shot, you go ahead and take it. But I just think for those 3 guys, yes. But for the rest of the guys, I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally situational. I think there's guys who have the ultimate green light, guarded, unguarded. They're in a position, DK, to let it fly whenever. Open shots, the problem is that a lot of times, Mr. Kelly, that's what the defense wants. So a lot of times, the reason that guy's open is because the defense has no respect for his outside shot. So, I mean, if you're confident in yourself, we'll take a guy who should be shooting the ball better, for example, which is KJ Lewis, who comes in 18%, something like that, from three-point land. He's taken a lot of open looks when he's had them. He needs to keep shooting those because that's a guy who has worked on his shot. He can make that shot. He just hasn't to this point of the season, right? So you want KJ Lewis keeping his confidence high. You want him taking open shots. For other guys, not necessarily. If Emmanuel gets in the game and they leave him wide open and he takes a three, guys, with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, that's not a quality shot. So it just depends on the situation and the player. For the most part, I just did the math really quick. 32% is what the team's shooting. Caleb is 36% of all threes this team's taken are from Caleb Love. You might think that his volume and the numbers he's coming in at would affect. If you took Caleb Love's attempts and makes off of this roster right now, they would be shooting 32.5%. Literally the exact same as with Caleb's numbers added to it. So here, the real crux of it, DK, is some coaches recruit shooters so that you have to extend the defense out to that threat of the shooters. Coach Lloyd has recruited drivers who primarily are the best at getting to the basket, getting into the paint. So this is not a roster constructed around our deadly outside shooting is going to loosen up your defense and allow for driving lanes. It's we're going to post up a guy, score on the block. You're going to have add extra defensive attention over there, cutters, drivers, that kind of thing. Not set up to be a great outside three-point shooting team on paper.
All right, how does this game look on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino? Let's find out who might be able to cash some tickets on it today.
Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, Arizona Wildcats minus 15.5 today is the play. I know this kind of looks like a trap game because of what you got coming up with Iowa State on Monday. But I like U of A in minus, and I like U of A big in this game today. There's obviously a lot of issues, and we talked about them with Colorado. I'm taking the number there.
Yeah, I would have to agree today. I think they're having some issues. I still think that they're a team that you have to watch out for anytime you have a wounded dog. You know how that can go. You get in the corner and fight back. But I just feel like that, Arizona just has the strongest team right now.
I totally agree with you guys, and I'll go slightly under that number just because if you look at Colorado's schedule, every game they've been in against the better teams except for the one blowout to Iowa State. I agree about the pitfalls. That's going to be a huge part of my keys coming up, but I think maybe 13-14, so just under that 15.
All right, so taking Colorado and the 15.5, over under 150.5 today, which was, what did I say, 97.50 was the last time they were here. That was 147.
And so that was like 3 NBA guys in that Colorado
They scored
roster, right?
90. Yeah, they scored 97. Arizona scored 97, and they didn't cover. They wouldn't have covered the number that day. That's a tough. I think I'm gonna go. If I think they're gonna blow them out, I gotta go over. So I'll go over.
Yeah, I think I got to go over as well. I think they're going to play a little bit better offensively just because coaches kind of been on them a little bit there. So I think they're going to bring it a little bit more offensively.
Yeah, I mean, they've struggled defensively. I think Arizona gets their points, and I think they're going to be inspired. So, yeah, over.
All right, those are our best bets.
Those are today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
We'll talk to head coach Joan Bonvincini next. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day continues on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Quick, she's over here. I don't know. I just found her like this.
Yeah, she's banged up, but she'll be fine.
Oh, thank God. What can I do?
Just need the keys. And, sir?
Yeah?
Your car's gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Mobile detailing from Recon Auto Detailing. Tired of wear and tear on your vehicle or just tired of cleaning it yourself? We'll come to you. Book with us online and see why we have over 1,100 5-star reviews. Recon Auto Detailing. ReconDetail.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. It's a new year, but we still have air conditioning and heating systems at last year's prices. We have high-efficient inverter systems for as low as $89 a month. For year-round comfort, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating,
If you're suffering from back pain and your physician is giving you a back brace or a pain pill or an injection and not explain the process of what you have and how to rehabilitate yourself, then there might be something missing. I'm Tom Corey. I'm a physiatrist here at Desert Sky Spine and Pain. If you're looking to find the root cause of your pain, any pain that's limiting your function, limiting the things that you want to do in life, call us at 520-229-2080 or find us on the web at desertskymedicine.com.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, best price, biggest inventory.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Thana Autumn Nation.
A Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden. It's time now for us to take you down to front row of the arena. A view from the courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Southern Arizona for more than 25 years.
All right, Arizona women's basketball plays tonight as well. 6:30 tip-off time. Cats and number 16, West Virginia. Big game on Wednesday night for Skylar Jones, who came off the bench in 17 minutes to score all 16 of her points in a 10-point win over Cincinnati. We had a chance to catch up with the longtime head coach of Arizona women's basketball, Joan Bonvincini. But first, let's hear from Skylar on her performance and what led to that performance.
I think my coach put a fire under my butt. I think that was a great little push that she gave me because it's been a little rough lately, and I know that she wants the best for me, so I know she's putting me in these difficult positions to help me bring out of it and help me grow. And then as a team, I think we really just want to win. I think you can see as a team that we really want to gut it out and win, even if we're young, even if we're missing one of our best shooters, Lauren, and hopefully she comes back soon because we're going to need her. But I think we're all just really coming together as a group, and you can see we're really gelling.
All right, Skylar Jones got a fire lit under her butt by Adia Barnes. How did Adia learn how to light those fires? Probably from the lady that we're going to talk to next. the longtime women's basketball coach here at the University of Arizona and now analyst on the ESPN Plus broadcast. Joan Bonvincini joins us now. And Coach B, so how many times did you have to light that fire under somebody's butt to get them going?
Well, a few times, and definitely with Adia too when she was a freshman. But, I think coaching, it's not just knowing the game. It's a psychologist, and it's figuring out what motivates people, and how to get to them to perform their best as a team. And Adia did that with Skylar because she needed that, to be honest.
Yeah, Skylar seems like, she's one of those young players who can get easily frustrated when things are not going well. How do you deal with that as a coach, especially when you've really got, you talk about, this is such a young team. You've got 3 sophomores that you're asking to kind of lead this thing. You've got an upstart freshman in Lauren Swan, but they're still trying to figure this out. So there's a lot of frustration that can happen when things aren't going right.
Well, I think specifically for Skylar Jones, this isn't something that just happened this week when she was hard on herself. This has been going on since even before the season started. And it's hard to watch as a analyst, a fan, a teammate, or as a coach. Because she was, at times you can have hard things and you're not happy, but you don't want to show it, and she did. And it not only affected her, but it affected her team. And it affected how people view her. So, I always said one of the best teachers is the bench. And so Adia has taken her, and I'd be surprised, even though she played really well on Wednesday, I don't think she'll start tomorrow. I'd be surprised. But, I asked Skylar a question after the game, so she was player of the game, and she deserved to be. What was the difference? And she said, just like it said in the interview she had earlier, that Adia lit a fire under her. Because she was not happy she was going to come off the bench. And I think Adia told her she wasn't going to play her the first half. And so it's really on Skylar. Not that you need a great game every single night, but what you do need to give as a teammate, as a player, you need to give your best. And she hasn't been doing that. And she's capable of that. Like I said to her after the game, what I saw from her tonight was what I saw a year ago, but better. And that's where she should be.
We're chatting with Coach Joan Bonvincini. It is your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Coach, how have you assessed the first part of this year for Adia Barnes' outfit?
Well, I think a couple things. They've been up and down at times, and part of that is definitely having a lot of youth. And you're relying, what Adia wanted was that core sophomore group with Cunningham and Williams and Skylar Jones. Well, to be honest, Skylar wasn't contributing very much, so they were missing a big part of that. But they've improved, and Skylar said some interesting things. This team really wants to win now. And honestly, they have to figure it out, and they have. And one of the players who've really stepped up as of late is Lauren Swan, has been terrific. So the good and bad news is she's been terrific. She came off the bench on Wednesday, and I believe she had 10 points in the first half, and then she gets elbowed in the head and did not play on the rest of the game, and Arizona was fortunate enough to win. I'm not sure if she's going to play tomorrow, so I think that's a big question mark if she's going to be allowed to play. I think there's players who've gotten better. I think Cunningham had a career-high rebounds. She had 15 on Wednesday night. She's doing great. I'd like to see her scoring, though, picked up. She should be averaging 15, 17 points a game. Jada Williams is doing very, very well. Isis Bay is improved a lot. I also like one of the freshmen, Mylene Rolfe, has come around. So I think they have good pieces. It's just they're starting to come together and understand the freshmen. A lot of them have contributed. Lauren Swan, Mylene Rolfe, a lot. The issues for this team is they've got to rebound better and they've got to continue to take care of the ball. If they do those things, they're in good shape.
You mentioned Isis Bay. Obviously, she has been a starter this year. She hasn't really been a starter for the majority of her career. How difficult of an adjustment is that for her to go from being, somebody that's coming off the bench for, in pretty much your entire 4-year career to now you're being asked to be a starter and help bring along these young sophomores and freshmen?
I think it's well deserved. She's a 5th-year player. And she played a couple years at West Virginia, so I don't think there's going to be any loss of her being motivated. But I think for her, she just needed to start realizing not only, she wasn't there to just be a person to rebound or play defense. They need her scoring, and she's becoming a much more of an offensive threat. And I think she's a critical piece, not just of what she contributes, but her leadership on and off the court is critical to this team's success.
What do you think? You mentioned Brea Cunningham. Her scoring is down. She has not scored double figures the last 4 games. Are you seeing anything about maybe how teams are defending her that's led to that drop? Because obviously she's been one of the, if not at the top of the board in terms of field goal percentage through the early part of the year in the Big 12. But, the last 4 games, she's, except for the game against Kansas, she shot under 50%.
Well, I think there's a couple things. I think the Big 12 has a lot of good post players. So she's been going against quality post players. But Arizona's focused on giving her the ball. I still think she can demand it even more. And she's right at the rim. The thing that hurts her is getting in foul trouble. And so then they have to pull her out. So I think it's a combination of those two things. But people who are good scorers have a scoring mentality. Like they want the ball. And she needs to want it a little bit more. But she's very capable of doing that. But she is a really good player. And all those rebounds, she had 15 on Wednesday night. They were critical. And that's why one of the reasons they won was when she came back in and dominated the glass.
It is your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Arizona for more than 25 years. We are chatting with the longtime head coach of the Arizona women's basketball program, now analyst on the ESPN Plus broadcasts, Joan Bonvincini. In this new era of the Big 12 that we're in, Joan, how did this whole thing come together with you and Cindy Brunson being paired on Arizona Wildcats games? I know that we've kind of seen you guys in the past every so often, but now you're the primary team on women's basketball.
Well, I'm thrilled and honored to be on this, first season in the Big 12. Cindy Brunson and I, my play partner and I, we've done a number of games together for Pac-12 and also for some other networks we were hired at. And we just enjoy doing games together. And I think we complement each other very well. And, I made a push when I found out each school was going to hire their own broadcasters. I mentioned to some decision makers, that we would enjoy doing it together. And it's been great. I mean, we do our homework. So I prepare for a game as if I was coaching the game. So, I watch film. Cindy and I go to shoot-arounds. I actually was just at Arizona's practice. Unfortunately, West Virginia is not allowing us to go to practice tonight. We're disappointed with that, which doesn't happen too often.
Oh, wow.
But I'll be at West Virginia's shoot-around tomorrow. And the reason we do this is, and it's the same way I felt when I was coaching. I appreciated the broadcasters when they would take the time to watch my team and talk to me. Because, I wanted, they wanted to do a good job. And that's definitely what I'm trying to do for each team. I know, we're hired by Arizona. I work for Arizona, but I represent the Big 12. We want to do a good job for everybody. And, obviously we know Arizona really well. And what's interesting, Arizona's played West Virginia twice in its history, but in all the games I've ever coached, I've never coached against West Virginia. So this will be my first time in person seeing them play.
All right, so then if you've been studying this like if you were coaching it, what do the Wildcats have to do to beat the number 16 team in the country?
Well, if you look at the stats within the game, West Virginia is really good, and I know this coach. He was at Stephen F. Austin for a number of years, very successful. He's brought the same system. So it's up-tempo. They're going to get out and run. They're going to get it to the rim, and they'll do some mid-range jumpers, and they'll shoot some threes. But their game is their defense is going to create a lot of offense. They are either top 5 in scoring, top 5 in field goal, no, maybe not in field goal percentage, but in points differential. I believe top 2 in steals, forcing turnovers, top 2. So what does, and they're good. They have their 1-2 punch are their backcourt. They have a great backcourt in J.J. Quinterly and a transfer who came with the head coach, Jordan Harrison, who's junior. So Arizona, number one, needs to take care of the ball. It's interesting when pressing teams get pressed, and this is going to be the same for West Virginia. They don't like it a lot. So Arizona needs to take care of the ball. They need to rebound well. And as I said earlier, get to Brea Cunningham, but the other players need to step up. They're going, because, I really think it's a question mark if Lauren Swan's going to be able to go. They're going to miss her basketball IQ and her scoring. So, in the last game, Skylar Jones stepped up. There's going to be other people need to be in double figures, and they need to have other players. Like the other game on Wednesday, they had, I believe, 4 players in double figures. They need players to step up and score. And if Arizona's fortunate enough to win this game, this is a game how you get in the NCAA tournament.
There you go. You mentioned that. Obviously, Paulina Paris was in double figures the other night with 10 points to go along with Lauren, who you said probably may not play. But now's a game where you're looking at maybe a Mylene Roof, who you mentioned earlier, maybe to step up into that scoring role as well. Coach, hey, we always appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and we'll do this again as we get further along into this season.
I'm happy to do it, and I love calling these games for Arizona. It's fun, and it's going to be a great game, so I hope the fans come out.
Well, I can't imagine we've got any other team's got a better broadcasting crew than we do, with you on the analyst seat and Cindy, who's obviously one of the better play-by-play broadcasters in Arizona with the work that she does in the WNBA
she's the best.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, she's the best. So I feel we have a great team, and you know what? We have fun. We have fun. So it's really good.
There you go. Coach, we'll talk to you again. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a great day.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Southern Arizona for more than 25 years.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering 60 months no interest financing, tax credits up to $2,600, energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Off for Del Orso, down to the baseline. Deli gets it to Vasar, banks it home, and he's fouled. How about Henry Vasar?
Need to see Henry Vasar get back to his winning ways. Struggled a little bit on the road trip, but hopefully he'll have the wherewithal to overcome those problems and get back into the good play mode that we saw him with during the Wildcats' 7-game win streak. All right, time now for our keys to the game, and we are going to start our keys to the game today with Kelvin Yvonne because he's got to go coach some basketball today. So, Kelvin, your keys to the game.
We have to pound the boards, really get after them on the rebound, allow only one shot. You don't want to let them get extra rebounds and get extra shot attempts from the three-point line. So pound the boards. Get the ball inside. The Townsend had a great game last time. Walker has been bullying people, and I think we got to get Vasar back going and back on schedule. So get the ball inside, force their defense to have to try to guard those guys, which will open up the perimeter. Play aggressive defense without fouling. I think that is going to get you ready for the Iowa State game. I'm not trying to look ahead, but you have to prepare because you have a top team coming in. And so when you have a team like Colorado, definitely you want to take care of business because these wins all count the same in the Big 12, but you do want to get ready for Iowa State at the same time with one day of preparation.
All right, how's the team doing?
Oh, the team's doing okay. We're 0-2 right now, but we lost by 4 last week. But they're developing. They're a young group of football players that are trying to play basketball. So, more than anything, it's about teaching them the fundamentals and being competitive.
All right. And who are you guys facing today?
Oh man, what's the name of that team? Oh goodness, Apex.
Okay.
Apex. They got a nice little program going over there, so we appreciate the opportunity to play against a good program like that to help mold our guys.
All right. We'll look forward to the results coming up tonight on the post-game show. Appreciate you. Good luck today, Kelvin.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
That is the captain, Kelvin Efon, with his keys to the game.
Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealer that is different.
All right, more keys to the game. Let's hear J.W. Madden. What do you have on this one today? Arizona taking on Colorado.
Well, obviously, the biggest issue is there's multiple pitfalls that we're looking at for this game, DK. Number one, this Buffs team comes in 0-7 in conference. That's easy for some players to potentially overlook that, not as a very strong opponent. And number two, obviously, you got Iowa State, number 3 team in the country, coming in a couple of days. So my number one key revolves around those factors, DK. You have to play Colorado like they are the number 3 team in the country today. You cannot go into this game thinking they're 0-7. Iowa State's a much stronger opponent. Let's save some for them. You have to play this game. That's a desperate team. Never won a game of McKale. You have to play as if they were 7-0. Number two, less than 12 to 15 turnovers. You got to maintain that focus. Again, not a great defensive team the Buffs are bringing in here tonight. Just don't have any of those silly, unforced errors. Maintain possession. Do not try to move the ball around. You get a turnover from passing. The passing game's fine, but just be strong with the ball more than anything. And number three, again, defend them like they are a top offense. Coming in shooting 46% from the field, 73 points a game. I'd like to see them held under 70 and under 40% today, DK. I think the defensive effort that this Arizona team brings in today will carry over into whatever's going on Monday. You got to keep that effort and energy up. The defense the last 8-10 games has been great for the Wildcats. You cannot take your foot off the gas versus this Buff teams that comes limping into McKale. You have to treat them again like they're a top team in the country.
Well, you mentioned right there my number one key, and that when you said 70, you got to keep them under 70 points. That is the number. They do not win when they do not at least get to 70 points this season. So Arizona Wildcats defense needs to be on full lockdown mode to keep the Buffs under that number. That'll be the number one thing to get out of here with a victory today. And again, I think for me, it goes back to what we talked about at the top of the show, aggressiveness on offense. Like Tommy Lloyd said, we want quality shots, but I think we also want to be aggressive in finding our quality shots, whether that's Caleb Love on the drive, whether that's Caleb Love, maybe not taking heat check threes, but taking good threes, whether that's Anthony Del Orso finding his opening to knock down and be the three-point shooter at 45% that he can be. We need to be aggressive in looking for our scoring opportunities. When Trey Townsend gets that ball on the elbow, he needs to take it strong to the basket and try to either score or get fouled. So aggressively look for your offense. That needs to come from everybody that's on the floor today, 1 through 8 or however many it is that Tommy Lloyd likes to play. And again, take advantage of these opportunities. I mean, this is going to be, I think we're going to have an electric environment the next 2 nights, or afternoon and night at McKale Center. These are the games you come to Arizona to play in front of a packed house. Students are back. We're in the middle of the conference season. This is when you want to get the motor running. So take advantage of that home throng that you're going to have starting today. But like J-Dub said, we cannot look ahead to Monday night. Got to concentrate. Like Tommy always he likes to tell us, we got to make the main thing the main thing. And the main thing today is the Colorado Buffaloes. Take care of them first, and then we can look on to the excitement of Monday night. Those are the things we believe the Wildcats need to do to win today against the Colorado Buffaloes.
Wildcat fans, those are our keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, last chance for you, 520-848-1290. Get your text in on what you think is going to happen today between the Wildcats and the Colorado Buffaloes. Tip-off is coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon, doubleheader Saturday. We got women playing tonight. In fact, let's tell you everything that's happening around college basketball and the University of Arizona today with your scoreboard.
Look at what's happening around the rest of the country. The College Basketball Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, 6 games on the docket for the Big 12 today, including Colorado and Arizona. 1 game is in progress. That's the one up in Tempe, and it entails the team that's coming here on Monday night. Number 3 Iowa State taking on the Sun Devils early, about 12 minutes to go, first half. Arizona State with a quick lead on the Cyclones, 11-9. Iowa State 16-2. They are 6-1 in conference play. Arizona State is just 2-5 at the moment in the Big 12. Other games in conference today, TCU and Central Florida will do battle down in Orlando. Both those teams are sitting at 3-4. Baylor's at Utah. The Bears are 4-3. The Utes are 3-4 in conference. Kansas State is just 1-6. They'll host number 23 West Virginia. The Mountaineers come in at 4-3 on conference. And this is the game everybody's going to be talking about today. It is number 12 Kansas at Fall Gallon Fieldhouse, welcoming in number 7 Houston. The Cougars, the lone undefeated team in conference play at 7-0. They are 15-3 overall. They are the number 7 ranked team in the country, and Kansas comes in 12th ranked overall, 5-2 in Big 12 play. Cincinnati is at BYU. That is the lone other game in the Big 12 conference today. There will be tomorrow, maybe no games because tomorrow is not coming up. So, I'm sorry. 1 game tomorrow. Oklahoma State will play Texas Tech. That'll be tomorrow. Texas Tech, the hot team, 5-2 right now, are the Red Raiders, coming off their weekend sweep last week, in which they knocked off the Arizona Wildcats and then went out onto the road and beat the Cincinnati Bearcats. 3 games in progress right now in the top 25. We told you about ISU and Arizona State. Number 14, Mississippi State, leading at South Carolina 35-27. The Gamecocks are winless in the SEC currently. Over in the Big Ten, 8th-ranked Michigan State is on the road at Rutgers and leading by 1 late in the first half. Big games on the top 25 scoreboard today. Number 1 Auburn will host number 6 Tennessee. That'll be a night game tonight. Also, you've got 4th-ranked Alabama hosting LSU. Number 2 Duke is on the road at Wake Forest. Number 5 Florida will host Georgia. Those are just a few of the games on the top 25 scoreboard today. Also, we've got a few things happening around the University of Arizona. Tennis will be getting underway here in about, 40 minutes. They will take on USC. The former Pac-12 mates are here for a non-conference match with the Wildcats at 1 o'clock over at the Robson Tennis Center. Ladies are on the road today at Pepperdine. Let's give you your starting lineup for the Arizona Wildcats. And you've got Jaden Bradley, 6'3". Jaden Bradley, 6'3" guard out of Rochester, New York, by way of Alabama. Jaden averaging 12 points and 3 rebounds to go along with 3 assists per ball game. Caleb Love, 6'4", fifth-year guard out of St. Louis, Missouri, by way of North Carolina. Caleb, the leading scorer for your Arizona Wildcats at 16 points per game. Anthony Del Orso, he is 6'6", a junior guard out of Melbourne, Australia, by way of Campbell. Anthony averaging 9 points while shooting 45% from 3. The forwards, Trey Townsend, 6'6", fifth-year forward out of Oxford, Michigan, by way of Oakland University. Trey are scoring at a clip of 10 points per ball game, coming off his season-high 17-point performance in the win over Oklahoma State. Toby Awaka, 6'8", junior forward out of Hyde Park, New York, a transfer from Tennessee. Toby averaging 7 points and 7 rebounds this season. It is Tommy Lloyd, the head coach, who got win number 100 on the season, looking to start a path to 200 today at McKale.
That's your starting lineup for today's game. The starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
All right, final thoughts real quick, J-Dub, before we send it over to the network.
Yeah, I mean, go see what I said for the keys. Basically, this is a game that, is a trap type game. That's a very, overused thing. But the idea being that Arizona's got a big game on Monday. This Colorado team comes limping in. Don't treat it like such. You have to treat this like it's one of the better teams in the country. Come out here, keep working on what you've been doing the last 10 games. Really like Arizona's team effort these last few games, especially DK. They're really looking for each other and really helping defensively. Just keep it up. Just keep doing what you're doing and bring that intensity, bring the energy, and be in attack mode. Attack the basket.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the managers, who are one of the top-ranked groups in the country. Unfortunately, though, the managers lost last night to Colorado, 85-84. Arizona had a 3-point shot to win it at the buzzer, but couldn't knock it down. I believe that's their first loss of the season. Hopefully, they'll dust themselves off and beat Iowa State here.
Maybe some of those CU managers could get in the rotation.
There you go. There you go. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to everybody that was a part of it. Joan Bonvincini for joining us. Mark Johnson, as well as you for listening. For Calvin Efine, for JW Mad, my name is David Kelly. Coming up next, Arizona and Colorado. We'll talk to you after the game. Bear down, Arizona. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Door and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic.